Boys. Welcome back to another edition of Tigs Bits. How are y'all doing before we jump into all of this? It's good to see you.
Yes. Y'all too. 2024,
Absolutely.
boys. How about that?
2024, baby.
It is here. 2024. Man, I said that the other day. I don't know why it sounded 2023 didn't wasn't crazy enough. I just said 2024, and dude, it's just, I can't believe it's this far. You know, I remember 2000 still back to Auburn, Alabama, and watching them open that box. It was supposed to be some kind of amazing thing that happened. And it was just a little tiny disco ball that spun right there at Toomer's Corner. That was 2000. 24 years ago, man. Crazy stuff.
Wow. Yeah, I looked at Sharice last night. We were watching something, and I looked at her and said, we were watching the new documentary on Netflix, You Are What You Eat, little 4-part series. Yeah. Must-watch TV right there. But I looked at her when because they were doing a chronological order thing. I looked at her. I said, it's 2024 right now. I said, it's here, right? She goes, I know. It's crazy, right? So, yeah, it's wild.
It is. But Happy New Year to you boys, man. Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody out there. This is going to be a fun show, So look, we'll just get right into it. Welcome to the best bits of Tigs Bits. So tonight we're going to look back at the videos that have helped us grow a ton over the past year. And man, we've had fun doing this. The show numbers, they're crazy. They're just crazy. We grew over 5,000% last year. Our listen and watch time was up over 20,000%. We had over 4 million impressions across all social media platforms. And so look, it goes without saying, if you want to get your company or your brand out in front of that many people in 2024, shoot us an email, tigs@tigsbits.com, or drop us a DM on social media. We're growing. Come grow with us. Boys, that's crazy that this little show has gotten in front of that many people over the last year. It's nuts.
It is nuts. It's absolutely nuts. You sent that the other day talking about how many views and how many hours watched. It's just kind of insane. It all adds up, and it's pretty crazy, man. So it's good stuff. I've had a blast doing it, man. It's been nothing but fun. I just can't wait for this year, man. I think it's just going to be like a really, really good year for us. And as he was saying, you want to get your brand out there. You want to advertise with us. Come on in. The water is fine. We are taking applications right now. They're stacked up and going through them all day.
And anywhere in the country it's suitable for, but here in the South, we kind of got our bases covered real thick down here. And I can tell you this, I know Blasey, and if I know anything about him, Troy having this shake up at their head football coach position, Blasey's going to be on a tear this spring and fall. You're going to want to be on this ride. I'm telling you, this is going to be next level stuff. I can already feel it. But between Murph being one of the youngest credentialed reporters of all time, and Blasey coming on strong as multi-athlete, multi-talented media personality. I think if I had a business, I would want to be sponsored on Tigs Bits.
For sure. It's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer, man. Yep. It really is. Got a couple of guys in the chat. Hey, boys. Happy New Year to Jason Hilton, and Happy New Year's to Paul Rogers. Once again, we knew they would be in here, hanging out with us. Cheers, boys. Just drinking a water tonight. Losing my voice. A lot of cheer over the past several days. I just realized is right when we start to kick into this, I think I'm losing my voice. What better time than now? But I'm going to be fine. But anyhow, So guys, this is going to be an absolute blast to do. I put it together over the course. I've been thinking about this for a little kind of, we need to do a best of, a good recap. We need to end season 2 with a bang. Season 1 was amazing. Really kind of gave us a good footing. Season 2 has been unreal. So I thought, why not walk through this and see. So the way that I did it, kind of the way that I formed this list, we're going to look at several video clips that had quite a reach over social media, be it on TikTok, be it on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, several, just about anywhere that you can watch any of these kind of clips. That's where we had them. So the reach, unbelievable. And I just want to start to dive into it because the way that it all started was earlier the summer with our good friend, Mr. Bubba the Love Sponge. And I think
Lacey's best friend.
Yeah, that's right. He's a
my radio hero.
He is definitely Bubba is a huge fan of Blasey, for sure, and for good reason. For good reason.
I am
he
too.
explains. We all are. I think everybody can appreciate that. But we have to thank the Bubba Army. We have to thank Bubba the Love Sponge, for discovering our little clip, having fun with us, and kind of really getting us kicked off. So I went through all these videos, man. It was like, we just came off of doing the Christmas brackets, all of that, little internal debate, just a lot of fun. This was equally as hard, so I had to set up a criteria. How do I do it? I got like the top 25 videos that we had, with the views, watch hours, all of that stuff. And they're all mixed into this. And then there are some other videos that are just funny, had a lot of views, stuff like that, but kind of represent our show. You've seen most of them. Some you may not have seen, but I wanted to set it up kind of like it's a concert. We're going in. So I have this done as a set list. So there's some ebbs and flows and vibes throughout this deal. So we're going to start with Bubba the Love Sponge, because what better place to start with a come right out, let's kick your ass, let's get into this with Bubba. And so
Bubba.
Let's see the old Bubba. So the clip here that I'm going to show, the first clip, it is Blasey explaining how basically just trying to explain who the hell Bubba the Love Sponge is. And he does it in such a delicate way, but this is the clip that got us to where we're at, really.
This dude's great. Like, he's just talking, he's got crazy guests on, great friends with Hulk Hogan. Then this radio war started happening between the afternoon guy, Bubba. He let Hulk Hogan have sex with his wife, and it was recorded, and then the dude in the afternoon stole that information and then published it, and that was that Hulk Hogan sex tape. So Hulk Hogan ends up making $100 million. Bubba gets run out of the radio.
Just
That's
facts.
It. That's
Just
Bubba in a
facts.
nutshell. Yeah,
Isn't it?
That's exactly what happened to him. Yep. That's it, man. That's it.
I mean, what's so crazy is that video rolls on, gets like 250, 300,000 views, something crazy like that through everywhere. But then it propels us from that video that was from a show that we had called A Podcast About Podcasts. I think it was a scramble night, actually, Handler. It was a night where we were all going to meet. Something popped up, and then Blasey and I are like, well, we're still ready to go. So we just dropped the show. It was like, what are we going to talk about? It totally changed
About podcast.
what we're going to do.
That's
We
it.
rolled into that, and, that's kind of, I think, that's how it happens with singer-songwriters and stuff like that. They hop in, they just go and do something, and then, something comes from it.
It's kind of the antithesis of our show. I mean, really.
It really is.
You started this thing. You got your old neighbor to come on, and he was like, hey, I got this guy that knows some people. Hey, bro, next thing you know, we've been doing, I don't know how many episodes, and we've been doing all these things we're talking about. It's awesome.
Good point. This is the 49th episode of season 2 and the last one. We're not going to hit 50 for season 2. That's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Absolutely.
We're going to hit 50 in 2024.
There you go.
And we're already in week 1 of 2024, but there you go.
There you go.
So then we move on. We have Bubba's reaction to to this. We come on. That happened. When was that, Blasey? I mean, It happened
I
on like
think
a
it was
Friday. Was it a
June
Friday? And then we
like
were
June
on
the
the show on that
2nd or
Monday?
something like that. Yeah, it was early June, and then it's a Thursday, and then that following Monday we went on the show. That's when they got in touch with us because we kind of slow played it because it was like, come on in that day, and it was like, hold on.
Then you were at
let's
the
gather ourselves here,
and then a day or two after that, you're at a baseball game with him, chugging beer and eating hot dogs.
That's it, man.
Giving the damn
right.
opposing bullpen hell.
That's exactly right. That's right. Hilton says that Blasey did a great Morgan Freeman. Like Bubba said, he's got the voice to do so many things. It's true.
It's true.
Clip loaded in. I looked at that clip earlier today, and y'all go check that out. It is out everywhere. But that we'll put that out on X tomorrow. That's a good one. That one needs to. It needs to come back in. If y'all only knew the amazing Morgan Freeman nights that I've had with Blasey, where I mean we go on for hours. Unbelievable.
Love it.
So,
That's it.
So here is the video. Here's Bubba's reaction to us and with us on the show. With he's interviewing Blasey because he called me a dumbass. But anyhow, I digress.
Bubba had somehow in his video footage in his house.
Listen. Chad tries to get through this. Listen.
He let Hulk Hogan have sex with his wife.
I can smell Breggy. I know.
And it was recorded, and then the dude in the afternoon stole that.
So stop it right there. He didn't say anything accusational about anything there. That was as artfully worded. Just so you know, from a lawyer, A+, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, it was so. I mean,
it was unbelievable.
It's like you knew he was going to come on the show.
It's unbelievable, man. I don't know, man. This guy is the best. I love this guy.
He does love you. He loves you so much.
Oh man, that's so cool. You know,
what he say? He's a mark for Chad. Isn't that what he said?
Yeah,
that's what
he's a mark. I love it. Wrestling terminology.
Wrestling term.
Wrestling slang.
Oh yeah, he speaks all that carny language, man. So yeah, man, it was so cool that's kind of the show, or that happening, as we should call it. That was a happening for all of us to kind of say, hey, it kind of put us on notice. Hey, let's kind of step our game up here a little bit. We're just kind of goofing off, and then it's like, all right, it's go time, boys. It's go time. It's kind of JR talks about and DDP talked about, when the show calls, you better be ready to go. And they called, right. and here we are. So
yeah,
it's been fun.
It has. And then that led us on later in the summer, not a few weeks later, we had our very first emergency podcast where there was some drama with Bubba the Love Sponge and Mike Calta. And here's Blasey to explain that drama.
Hey, it's our soap opera that we follow, and and you can't make
really
it up.
Is.
It's like it's the craziest situation. There's not a crazier situation between DJs and shock jocks in one city in the country than there is in Tampa, Florida. It is the kingdom.
It's like a real life wrestling script that's happening, and all of a sudden here we are. Calta has turned complete heel, and Bubba's babyface now. Bubba's babyface now, which he was in that deal. But yeah, I mean, we beat that one like a dead horse for sure this year. But talk about a lot of views. That one, that drama, that emergency podcast, that kind of started to turn the way of the show a little bit. Of like, okay, we need to be a little more reactive to some things that we find interesting anyhow, and that we could talk about for a little while. And yeah, that was quite the run. But that is the video right there that really kind of catapulted it from it.
That was kind of the starting point for us. Like, even though we'd done a lot of stuff together, but that kind of put us all on notice. I mean, and then, like I said, immediately what happens the next week, we have now engaged the handler, and the handler brings in, hey boys, I don't know if y'all can get on or not, but we got I got Diamond Dallas Page ready to go if y'all are. And I was like, oh yes.
Yeah, exactly.
JR's taking us serious now.
Yeah,
too,
like, okay,
so
well, let's
stuff.
ride. Let's ride. Hey, Bubba fan, HS Bubba fan 69 says we need to go back on the Bubba show. We could
Love to
not
be back on
agree
Bubba.
more.
Yeah,
we need to go to their studio. I want to get down there.
Oh yeah, I'd love to go.
Where is he based out of?
Tampa.
I'm going there tomorrow. I'm going to Clearwater tomorrow. Yeah, I wonder. Hell, I mean, even if they're not on the air, I'd love to swing by and say what's up. Anyway.
Yeah, dude, that studio is unbelievable. Like, it's huge. Like, it's really cool. It's super cool.
We introduced Paul to Bubba the Love Sponge. He hadn't heard of him. And look, neither had I, Paul. I had not heard of. I mean, I had, and then once I knew the Hogan stuff, that's kind of how that came into that episode. Is Blasey was explaining who he was, and like, oh, okay, now I know who this cat is. And then I remembered some of the Howard Stern stuff, and remembered that he was, then I knew who he was, But yeah, he's a character. I watch him. I am all Bubba Army now, no doubt about it. The dude is just beyond interesting, is all I can say. And yeah, hopefully we'll be on there again. Look, I know Bubba Army. I'm not trying to get myself in there. This is Blasey. I know this is all Blasey. He went to Tampa Bay. Or he went to a Tampa. What's the name of the minor?
Yeah, the Tarpons. Yeah, I went to the Tarpons there.
Okay.
Yeah, George Steinbrenner Field. Got to go to he had like a thing for all the fans. Like had one of the suite things out there. Whole thing rented out. Had an open bar. It was a great setup, man. It was so cool meeting a lot of the other listeners of the show and people that are part of the show and talking with them and being able to talk with Bubba, dude. It's so cool because, like I said, I've been following this guy since 2011.
Yeah,
and just have he's been hard to find at times, as he's been run out a few times. And then, so I've always sought him out, man, because he's so entertaining. It's like I said, it's kind of oddly entertaining. It's very addictive. It's a soap opera in itself. And
it is.
But so that was a fun thing, dude. It got us going. It got us rolling. And here we are right here.
It's kind of like
we got a best of.
It's kind of like who needs make-believe when reality's so interesting,
That's it. Well, a quick question. I'm putting you on the spot here, Blasey, just only because I happened to watch a few minutes of it this morning, saw they were live on Facebook or whatever. I said, now let me check in. They were all over Anna. I mean, just all over. Is that guy Seth? Is he back or something? And they don't like each other. I mean, is that just give us a little quick run around?
Yeah. So there's a little, I definitely think there's some issues there. Like as far as, even from Lummy and Anna, like they've been there, they've been loyal. Seth is, he bailed at one time, took off, and then now he's come back. And, I remember when Bubba announced that on the show a couple months ago that Seth was going to be coming back on. It was you could tell they weren't too excited about it. Like, they're making it work, but he's a little over the top, you know what I mean? So now it just changes that dynamic. Bubba's just trying to mix things up, shake it up a little bit. So,
Yep. He's good at that.
Yeah.
He is good at that. A Bubba fan says he's back for a few days a week. She and her had issues the first time he worked there. He's cool. She needs to get over it. So, the little bit I heard, it
it's
looked like
changed.
It's pretty much what seemed to be the message. Yeah, she needs to get over it.
They'll get through it. Bubba likes to shake the show up every once in a while.
Apparently, he's the one who
he's had so many different lineups, dude. He's had probably 20-something different lineups over the years. You know what I mean? And one thing's been consistent. It's been Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. You got to evolve and change. You can't get stagnant, can't get comfortable. You don't want to get complacent. So I'm sure that keeps them on their toes. New, interesting stuff, different angles, that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt. Well, then kind of changing tunes. That's the Bubba the Love Sponge to kind of open up this whole set list. Then let's dive into some stuff that we love. Let's just kind of lock in for a little bit and kind of let's have some hits. One thing that we talked a lot about this year was food. We talked a lot about it. And I'm going to give us some of our best hits on food. Before I do that, though, wherever you're watching, listen to this. Retweet it, repost it. If you're watching on X, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. If you're watching this on YouTube, follow us, like, all of that good stuff. Leave comments. It's fun to have the comments, to interact with the show, and just didn't want to forget to mention that. But let's dive into food. I'm going to start with one of my favorites. This one did really well on social media. It was one of our better players of the year. but just the whole name of it just makes me laugh.
We started with hooks. That's what I grew up with. You get the whiz bang sampler. You got chicken, you got ribs, you got pulled pork, and then you got a little slice of pound cake on the side to finish this thing off. They did a great job.
So
Sounds like it.
the
forgot all
whole
about
whiz
that
bang sampler. Huh?
Ain't nothing like the whiz bang sampler. Oh my
Unbelievable.
gosh, I forgot about the old Hooks barbecue thing.
Yep. That I know. Some of that's what was so fun about going through this is looking and then seeing. Oh dang! Well, that one got a lot. I forgot I even posted that video. I mean, I know I've posted most of them over the last week or two. I've been dropping in between Christmas. We've been taking a little break. No big deal. Plenty of content. I've been dropping some of those things that, holy cow, I can't believe like I missed this Marty Smith freaking awesome little deal, which we'll get to later on in the show. It did well on a couple of platforms, but I forgot to post it on a couple. That happens. There's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts. Anyhow, this next one did really well. Probably it is the best food video that we had in 2023, and it's with our good friend Mr. JD Marsh with Breggy Bomb that he came on, and that was a great episode. So go check that out. But here's the video about Back Beach Barbecue.
Panama City Beach, Back Beach Barbecue.
Oh, yeah, dude.
That is a legit barbecue spot.
It really is, man. It is on point. I tell people that, too. I'm like, guys, there's some really good barbecue right here. They've got it all, man.
You know, they had beef ribs and everything that we do here. Outside of Texas, that is the most authentic Texas-style barbecue I've had anywhere.
That's
really
a good endorsement to know that.
I
That's
mean,
strong words, isn't it?
it's as strong as it gets.
From him, especially.
It is. And and Chad has talked about that place in the show before. In season 1, he's mentioned it, and then did it again there, and then bam, JD comes in to lock it down. That it's as good of a testimony as you can get. In fact, I think the owner's daughter is now following the show on TikTok. She saw the video, shared it with them, shared it with her parents and all, and then they've shared it all over their social media and all of that. So I can't wait. I've still not had the pleasure of going.
I can't wait. Can't wait.
Yeah, maybe. Hey,
Absolutely.
Whenever we
it's
may
really good.
We may make a run on shows. It's just throwing this out there while we're live, sometime in 2024, sooner rather than later, of dropping a show live from Props, the good folks at Props, and maybe talk to the good people there at Back Beach Barbecue, and maybe we can show up there, hit a little of that barbecue, and drop a little show on that one too. So
absolutely sounds good, and finish it off over at the Floribama.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Why not? This
bushwhacker for dessert.
That's beautiful.
That's like
beautiful.
a plan.
This next one was favorites, just because of the name and the title of it. It sums us up. I'll just play it.
It's called a tri-tip.
Exactly. They put it on these big rotating grills, and it would go over the fire. I remember one time doing it at a hunting camp with John Party, and they had the big cast iron skillets with potatoes on it, and it would rotate around. I remember telling John, I always thought he should open a California barbecue joint in Nashville and serve tri-tip and call the restaurant just the tip.
I mean,
still a great idea.
It's an amazing idea. We're doubling down on letting people know if you want to steal anything.
And if you want me to come in for all the info and you do all the headaches and all the business and all the glory, just give me 10% after it's done, I'll totally help you with that. Let me know.
Oh, he's got a plan for John Party. That's for sure. I like it. I think it's a great idea, though. Like those
I need to tell him now. He can afford it now.
Yes, he's good to go now. Everything's set up for it.
I just talked to him a couple days ago, actually, too. He's in dad mode. He's got a baby girl right now, so he's trying to figure that whole dad thing out. But the next time I see him, I have to mention it to him. Hey, remember that time I said this? And just like I just told the public, 10% on the side. I'll help be the brains of the operation. You can do all the rest.
Well, hey, Party, you heard it, and you better get on it because I think it's a great idea, and do it. Trey Smith agrees. He likes just the tip. I mean, it's just it's beautiful.
It's just tri-tips. All you get, because that's the thing. You can't get wings. You can't get pulled pork. You're getting tri-tip sandwich. But that's good for your restaurant because you're not trying to do 20 different cuts. You cook one thing right. You make 5-6 things out of it. You make nachos, a potato, a spaghetti. You know, like you know, you make you some stuff out of it.
Yep, that's right.
Oh man,
like
and it's so good. Blasey sent me the Snake River Farms tri-tip prime, unbelievable, just the most beautiful cut of a tri-tip ever. And we've talked about that too. Oh
yeah,
good God,
that's such a good
I love them.
meat.
They're so beefy, flavorful and beefy, robust.
Let's talk about it now before you guys watch that documentary, You Are What You Eat, that I was telling you about. And then we'll have –
Don't ruin this, Handler. We're rocking and rolling. Nothing we're about to talk – none of this is healthy, okay?
No,
This is
it's like I watched
New Year's resolutions. Number one, what do y'all think about New Year's resolutions? You guys out there listening, do y'all have New Year's resolutions? If you have one, is there something that you'd like to share? I don't. I'm not. I have goals and I have things that I want to accomplish, but I'm not going to beat myself up. And they're not. You know, I just want to be better going into 2025 than I was in 2024. That's the goal for me.
That's kind of it. Just keep getting better. The only thing I did do this year, I'm going to do this year, is I'm going to go to the gym like every day of January. Like I'm going to go every single day, and then after that, I'll back off to 4 days a week, but I'm just going to kind of test myself. Some people like to do the dry January. I just, for me, I'll just go to the gym 7 days a week, all of January, and continue everything else as planned.
Is moving forward. Just
I'm
burn
kinda
it
the
off
same.
more at the gym.
I'm like you, Tigs. I'm constantly making resolutions all year long. I mean, it's another set. When you hit some goals, you make some more, and you adjust and you pivot, and
that's it.
Try to do better, and like you said, be better than you were when you started if you can.
That's right. Yeah, Hilton, he's not a big resolution guy either. Same, he agrees, and neither is Paul. He's not a big New Year's resolution guy.
No, I'm not either.
Bubba, he loved seeing Blasey at the brewery studio.
That was sweet.
We'll be back. We'll be back.
We will be back. Paul loved the Props Brewery show.
But Blasey's studio now is cool. Blasey's studio's rocking over there.
We haven't even talked about that. The Odie.
Dude, this guy started off in like a friggin' storage closet somewhere.
On the
girlfriend screaming at him, and now he's got a sweet studio with the glow in the dark Jim Morrison. He's got his own air, letting everybody know he's taking care of business.
Yeah, Amanda got me that, man. That's actually an authentic one, man, from like from the '90s that has the felt on it.
Yeah.
Glow,
so really?
The black light sitting up on it. Oh yeah, dude, it's awesome. So that was such a cool Christmas gift when she gave that to me.
Is the receipt
that helped out? And I got the on air thing, so I added a couple little. Made a few changes for 2024 back there. So
it looks badass. Is the receipt from Spencer's taped to the back of that Jim Morrison?
I believe it is.
That's awesome.
That's what I told her. I said, this came from Spencer's at some point. I was like,
oh yeah, for sure. They definitely had them.
If there was a Spencer's near me, I would go to it next time I go by there. I would love to go shop at a Spencer's now.
Oh yeah,
dude. Those places were awesome.
They were. I remember going in, just as a kid, being like 9, 10, my son's age.
Yeah.
Go in Spencer's, see things you'd never seen before.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, that's what that meant.
Yeah.
A lot of light bulbs went off because of that place.
Yeah. It's like, it's a cartoon. It's not. It's a cartoon, but they're naked. That's cartoon boobies, or whatever. Or that's a curse word. That is a curse word printed out. I know that's a curse word.
Exactly.
That is a curse word on the front of that shirt. That's not even like scratched out. It's the whole word.
Yeah, boldly. I remember the funniest. I think one of the hardest I ever laughed in my entire life was when I walked into a Spencer Gifts, probably 8 or 9 years old, and they had that "Who Farted" shirt, and it had a hole in it and all of that. And it was That was my first introduction to, oh my God, fart jokes.
I know. I love it. I love it.
Oh, that's good
So
stuff.
silly. Anyhow, all right, back to some food. We still have a few more food videos to go. This one of the best videos of the year for sure, and it is one that I have incorporated into the way that I cook with a lot of different things. Y'all have introduced me to it. I'd heard of it, heard about it, think I have had it before, but man, I am sold on it now. Here it goes, the Alabama white sauce.
Ooh.
Walk us through the Alabama white sauce and how you make it.
So it's mayonnaise, it's vinegar, it's some sugar in there and a little spices. It's pretty simple. But really the whole premise, I think what's going on there, especially when you finish off chicken and then you just baptize it in that white sauce, it's the fat from the mayonnaise all hanging out with that goodness, and it just locks in the juices too. So you get the flavoring in that vinegar, but that mayonnaise really just locks this piece of chicken up. And so you go to cutting on this bird, I mean, it is just moist, juicy. That vinegar's eased into that meat. Oh man, it's something special. Yeah, it's good stuff. I wish I had some right now.
I am starving, boys. What's the next segment about?
See, well, that's why I thought we should get food out of the way early. We come to the end, we're just going to get the munchies. But yeah, man, holy cow. So the first time I did it, I realized how much of a sloppy mess that I made. But I literally did what Blasey said. I got chicken thighs. I made a monster-ass bowl of this. And just, I went, yeah, I'm just going to pour the chicken in there. So I cooked them, got them right where I wanted, put them all in this bowl, literally baptized them, put them back on the pit, and finished them off. And good God Almighty, just
it's just
the best. It is so different.
It is so good.
It's so different. And then that brought in mayonnaise. We've talked about that too and I still haven't tried it, but people will use mayonnaise as like a binder with steaks and things like that, and I would think it would give that similar richness that it gives the chicken. You know, you have the lime and all that.
I never thought about it on steaks, but I'm sure.
Yeah, I haven't either.
You know, you do it like you would. I know everybody's done the old famous grilled cheese with using the mayonnaise on the outside of the grilled cheese instead of butter on the pan.
I haven't. I've heard about
I've heard
it,
of
but
it. I've never done it.
I've heard it. Yep. I've heard it's better.
I do it that way most of the time now. If I ever make a grilled ham and cheese or something, or just a grilled cheese, sometimes I will
mayonnaise the outside and then cook
I put the mayo on the outside, and it gets it nice and brown. I don't know if it's a different type of fat, the level of fat or something. It does, like you said, it locks it in and makes it crispy, but it gives it that buttery taste too. It's good. It works.
I got to try that next time. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you need just like a comfort, like if you're hungover or something, you know, that's a good. And you don't have the free, you need to go grocery shopping. Man, one of those with that mayo on the outside, plenty of cheese, crispy, good, and get it hot. Woo woo.
Oh man, that sounds like money right there.
You think that sounds like money? Wait until you watch this one. This is money.
Saul's had just opened there at Avondale, and I don't know if you ever had Saul's Barbecue or not. Mike Wilson that owns it. I guess his teachers always said he'd never mount to anything. Sorry ass Wilson. But he's got this barbecue joint, and I think the story goes is one day they had way more pork or something, and they were like, man, what are we going to do? And they just threw together, they took these Alabama ground grits. They got some collards, some spicy collards, layered that on top, come in with pulled pork, and then did some really small fried onion rings on top with their sauce on there, which is a real tangy, high vinegar, more of a Carolina sauce. That's the best barbecue dish I've ever put in like those flavors come together. It's just like the South in a stack. That's the best dish I've ever had.
Wow.
The South in a stack, baby.
Man, I wanted to eat there the other day. I had to pull through there coming back from West Virginia, and we spent the night. But we got there, and we were so tired. It was cold, and we just stayed at the hotel. I wanted to go over to Avondale and get some of that. I wanted it real bad.
I got to try it. I do. It sounds so freaking good, man. I'm so dadgum hungry right now.
And at that point, I am too. I had an apple after I got home from work. That was before we knew Taylor was going to be on, and he was co-owner of that restaurant, right?
That is correct. That is correct. We did not. That was prior to the whole Taylor deal. which is crazy. And I still haven't been there. I haven't been to.
Maybe
I
we
haven't
need to
been
go
back
there
to
and do a
Alabama
remote-
since I saw y'all last.
Yeah,
Yes, we do.
yeah.
We need to do
From
another
the juke
place
joint
we should
because
do
they
it.
got the juke
Exactly.
joint location. They got 3 of them up there, I think at least, and one of them's a juke joint with the music and all. That'd be awesome. Go get that South in a stack and then do a show.
Yeah, for sure. Hilton says he thought that mayo heated was poison. I've never heard that. That's a new one on me, but don't think that I won't research this.
David Allen Coe used to say his grandmother told him, if you drink hot liquid, you'll go to hell.
Good Lord.
I heard David Allen Coe say that on a movie, Heartworn Highways.
so
I think it was. If you drink hot liquids, my grandmother said, if you drink hot liquids, you're going to go to hell.
Wow.
As he was drinking some coffee.
Probably spiking it too.
Man, I've never heard that in my life. That's cool though.
If you love that era, the 70s era, the early outlaw movement stuff, there's a documentary called Heart-Worn Highways that is a must watch for any music, old country music nut.
Oh yeah, check that out.
For
Young
sure.
Steve Earle, Guy Clark, Towns
Wow.
Van Zandt.
Oh yeah,
It's amazing. David Allen Coe driving his own tour bus with a
That's
pistol
great.
on
I
his.
think we talked about that, but I haven't seen it. I haven't found
I
it.
haven't seen it. Nope.
We're gonna find it. If we find it, I'll put it in the link and share it with everybody. Hilton says crawfish season is almost here, and he is correct. That leads us into the next one. It's almost like he knew that was coming up. Y'all ever got so pissed off at a crawfish that just kept biting you as you were cleaning them that you put that you put a rubber band on that damn thing so you knew exactly which that son of a was so you could eat him? Because I've done that. I mean, yeah,
You put a rubber band on him.
Oh yeah, I did. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, and I came for him.
I've never done that.
Extremes. I came for him. That's true.
So good. I've never done that either.
Because I've done that.
Yeah,
I've done that. I'm coming
Look,
for you.
That's part of the beauty of this show. So most all of these just kind of come out naturally while we're doing the show. I'm not gonna lie, use artificial intelligence to help define some of these moments, but really and truly, we just put out what kind of cracks us up, and that one cracks me up too because that's me.
That's so
if
good.
you know me, that's me.
I think there's going to be
Beautiful.
a lot more shrimp bowls this year than last year because crawfish are
Yes, I'm a
pretty
little worried
for the
about
rich
that.
people right now.
Man,
Yes.
Buddy.
I hate that because last year they got so low. They got back to
know.
what prices we were used to a
Yeah.
little bit. And man, that sucks. Yeah,
Yeah,
I hate
they
it
were
yeah.
good.
because I did like 3 or 4 bowls last year, and I
I know.
was so excited.
My neighbor, his folks own crawfish ponds, and so our crawfish boils are off the charts. And
Well, you're probably still be in good shape, but everybody has to go get them like commoners like us, boy. They're
it ain't no. I mean, yes, we will be in good shape. Like we may pay March or Easter prices in like the middle of April,
right.
but still, it's not looking good. But hopefully, we get a lot of rain. Those little suckers can recover, dude. They'll be okay.
Yeah.
They're crawfish, for God's sakes. They'll come back. But I mean, we need rain, and we've been getting
They were
it.
born in the mud. They should be fine.
Yeah, dig on down a little bit deeper, dumbass. Anyhow, so so we're going to close out the food segment. We had a lot of food videos. Like I said, it's a long little run. And then if you need to go to the bathroom after this, will be a good time. We're coming back with more bangers. But so this, we had the very wise and inspirational Bobby John from Survivor on the show, and he left us with this nugget to start off with.
You're peeling back an often overlooked onion, an important onion, because the onion, you got to have an onion to cook. Nobody's got an onion in their refrigerator. I'm turning around and going in the house immediately. All right. Onions are important, but y'all are peeling one back that's often overlooked.
Have no idea what we're peeling back.
Drink.
For the record.
My buddy, I missed that one. That's the biggest disappointment of this season for me was not being there to get to catch up with Bobby John because I love that guy. We were good friends in college. I miss him.
Oh, dude.
I've only talked to him a handful of times post college career, but it was when he was doing stuff and I was doing some stuff and we connected on a few things, but then we never followed through. And man, I hate that. But a great episode, great killer episode.
Man, I don't want to bring the show down, and I'm going to surprise both of y'all probably by saying this, but speaking of Bobby John, and a good friend of ours from Troy, Jeff Corley, passed away, man, a couple of days ago. And Jeff and I used to cook crawfish together all the time down here. He actually, right when I started cooking crawfish, was one of the first people I used to cook crawfish with. He was living in Niceville. We were he's the one that showed me the lemon oil thing I'd never even seen before. Mm-hmm. So anyway, man, I just want to say
I didn't know
rest
that.
in peace there. Yeah, man, I just found that out. So
thoughts and
good old buddy
go
Jeff there.
Family,
Anyway,
man.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, old Trey Smith says that Randy Miller is the crawfish king, and that's a fact. Randy Miller is a good friend of mine. He goes by Rack, and he's the champ. You know, he beat Gil Broussard 1-on-1. It was, you know, Gil isn't here to defend himself. He's asleep. Don Raines second that, and I was there at the same deal. I'm not getting into it. You know, I didn't compete, but it was still amazing. But yeah, man, food, we could go all night on that. But all of those, you know, as I've kind of been watching these things and I've noticed some themes of what videos have done better, obviously we want to make content that engages folks and that people are interested in and want to get more engaged in. So, you know, we're going to double down. We're going to talk more about food this year, for sure, because we know a lot of folks that are in that food industry in some form or fashion. It's endless. I made a hell of a dish on New Year's Eve. Or on New Year's Day, I should say. It was potatoes au gratin with cabbage and ham. Tough deal. I watched it. Saw this video, somebody on Instagram, and tried to replicate it. It was amazing. The potatoes were slightly undercooked, so would make a few adjustments, but I got a new banger once I figure that one out. If I can put that on the pit, stuff like that, it's going to be the jam, especially I wanted to have cabbage, pork, black-eyed peas. I'd already eaten black-eyed peas earlier at my neighbor's house, but I still wanted to eat a ribeye on New Year's. It's just what I wanted to do with me and my son. So that's what we had as the side with it. But anyhow, I digress. That's food.
Let it rest.
So now we're going to come into the segment of the show. Like I said, if you need to go to the bathroom, this is a good part to stretch for a second. You know, I got a feeling that this could trigger Blasey a little. But we have to do it. These 3 videos that I'm about to present were some of the best videos that we had all year long and some of the most interactions. One of them very recently got a lot more traction. But this is kind of how it all started with former Troy head coach John Sumrall.
Tigs, your name had me really thrown off when I saw about this podcast. If we reverse 2 letters, I'm going to be in big trouble. I'm like,
you're not the first to tell me that, Coach. In fact, when I was at the beach last week and I'm walking along, I saw this mom and her daughter. They were out taking pictures at sunrise. I walked by them and I thought I heard them talking to me, and I heard sir, and I turned around. I was like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry. I can come take your picture. Not a problem. I wasn't, you know. And they were like, no. I want to take a picture of your shirt. I thought it said something else. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot to tell you boys that, but yeah, that happened.
That's outstanding.
That was pretty dang funny.
It was. It's happened a lot. Anytime I've worn the shirt, I've seen other people have read it wrong on social media and stuff like that. That was, I mean, honest to God, that was totally unintentional. I never really even thought about it because my nickname has been Tigs for so long. And then when I had a radio show, the Bits part, you know, I just said, hey, we came on the second hour of a 2-hour show. I was pretty loose in the second hour, so it was like, let me roll. I came on to Motley Crue's Wild Side, and then it was Tigs Bits. And I went into whatever the rant was. This was a sports show, but it was whatever the hell I wanted to talk about for that segment, which was like 5 or 7 minutes or whatever. And it sometimes would derail the show, which was fun. That's
awesome.
where the name came from. But
That's great.
we try to keep the show on the rails here, and we generally do a pretty good job of it.
Most of the time.
Yeah, y'all get to see now as we watch this live kind of what it's like whenever we film our normal shows. They're just, guess what? Helps your boy over here because I ain't got to edit anything whenever we're done. So
there it is. Just
it makes it easy for me. But so that was a funny kind of how we got started with him. He said that right off the bat whenever he came on the show. One of my favorite moments of the whole show was whenever we're talking, Handler's talking to him, and then this happens.
When are y'all going to be in Dothan?
It's Thursday, the October 26th.
Yeah, I'm probably busy October.
I got a feeling he may be, Coach.
That's what I just realized. I thought it was in end of November. But
yeah. We should arrange a big concert at the Vet. I don't see why not. You got a great venue right there. I think we could have a good time. I'd like for it to not happen during the season, though, so I can partake in the party. If it happens in October, I can't party. We need to make it happen in the off season so I can throw down at the concert.
Well,
not going to happen at the Vet with him helping to facilitate that, I don't think.
Probably out on the Vet. But
the Vet might still happen, but just might not be through him. We have to go. Smooth's still there, so maybe we just go through Smooth. So maybe we can
still could happen at Troy. Hey, who's to say it couldn't happen at Tulane now?
Hey, I'd still go and party. I'd still go party with him.
Hell yeah, dude!
He's a great coach. He's going to do good things. But you know what? 2 words for you, Jared Parker. That's the new era that we're in at Troy right now. So
is that the new coach?
That's it. Yes, sir. Out of Notre Dame, I'm a big fan of him. He's cut from the same cloth, dude. That's what's cool about it. Like
he sounds exactly alike. Like if you didn't know him, you just listen to him talk, their cadence and all that.
Neil Brown, John Sumrall. It's a very similar mindset, man. Hard work, you know what I mean? Just good attitude, so I feel really good. I feel better. I feel much better after hearing him talk, understanding him, who he is, where he came from. So yeah, Troy's in good. He's going to be in good shape if we can survive this portal nightmare we're going through right now. That we've got 30 players, including those going in the draft that are leaving Troy. So once we get through that, we shall survive.
Y'all's boy, I think Mac chimed in, just checking back on the chat. He said he saw Bobby John eat shrimp with shells on. So that's hilarious.
I can remember riding down like where all the other see Bobby John was in a different fraternity. He was SAE. They were all our buddies. So much love to those guys. But a Pi Cap house being Blasey, where it was on the other side of town, but all the other were on the same road. I can remember riding down that road because it was kind of near the intramural field. So I was riding down that road one time, and here comes Bobby John, just kind of like bounced out of the woods beside me, like jogging one day. Like it kind of scared me. It was like, whoa, he was jogging in thick woods and then just bounced out by the road. I'm like, there's no path. We're in Troy. There's no jogging path through the woods. He's just jogging through the damn woods with a bandana and shorts on. That's it, and New Balance.
Ready to go. I'm going to show you how to do this on the rough terrain right here, boys. Y'all go jog on the road. I'm gonna run through this thicket right here real quick.
And that was probably his mindset. He's like, this is real life training. I don't need to be running on I need to jog in something that would matter.
That's exactly what he was doing.
That's why he went on Survivor. Man. That was way before that was ever a thought.
That's crazy. And then he just went and did the same thing. Man, we had that. That's one show a little behind the scenes on that one is of all the shows that we had this year. I was super pumped for it as always, but we had more damn technical issues during that show than any other show. Didn't even have his recording. We only got like the first 15 minutes of the show with good video quality and audio quality, and then had to get a backup and all this. No idea why or what happened. It's irrelevant, but we were able to make a show. Hopefully we can get Bobby John back on. I have a lot more questions and frankly would like for him to tell the story again, because there were some clips in that sucker that would have been on this list and would have made it and would have rock and rolled on social media had the damn video just not been so horrible. But I digress.
We'll do it again.
Okay.
We'll do it again and make sure JR is there for this one.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, he's always a ton of fun and always full of surprises.
That'll be fun. Look, Aaron Ryan, he's tuning in. Look, we picked up some Tulane fans along the way, and hey, that's all good. That's awesome. I'm an LSU guy. Doesn't bother me. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to see what will happen at Tulane with them, and hopefully Coach Sumrall will still allow
they got
us
a great
some
coach
access.
is what they got.
They got a great coach is exactly what they.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Yeah,
that's exactly
I think
right.
Aaron's and I think Aaron's a Marshall. I think he's a Thundering Herd guy, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
The Thundering Herd.
Right.
You know, Bobby John was in that movie. We Are Marshall. Speaking of that.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, look at that tie-in.
That's right.
Look at that nice little tie-in. And then a tie-in with Tulane. Here is a video that recently popped everywhere on social media for us and got new fans over to the show. This came earlier in the year on that same ride with Coach Sumrall.
I coached at Tulane for 3 years, so I probably know too many good restaurants.
Yes, sir. You know where to go.
Oh, yeah. We moved to New Orleans in December of 2011 or January of 2012. I moved there, me and my wife, before we had children, and I was like 225, 230 pounds. And within like 6 months, I was like 260.
That rice and gravy will stick, Coach.
They're like, hey, we're going to put some sauce on top of the sauce, all right? And so
that's exactly right.
Next thing you know, I was on the road recruiting like later that May in 2012. I'll never forget, I was in Shreveport, Louisiana, just had gone to watch a high school practice, and I walked into a hotel room right there in Bossier City. I looked in the mirror, and I thought, golly, I look really bad.
But you felt really good inside, you know?
Yeah, I was happy. I was real happy, yeah. But none of my pants fit.
That was so good.
Oh, yeah. Well, the struggle is going to be real for Coach now. He's getting paid a lot of money, and he is in deep into the heart of the good food, and I know he'll be recruiting all of Louisiana as everywhere else, you know, moving forward now too. But anyhow, wish him the best of luck. Appreciate him coming on, and, man, that was a heck of an honor to get to visit with a head coach of a major football program on their way to media days. Once again, we got crazy and decided to see if we could just test our extremes of software and capabilities by making that happen on the road, and it did.
It worked.
Woo, I will never do that again. We will never do that again.
And we're never gonna talk up any other city but Troy when we have a coach on this show. Troy's the nicest place, has the best food. There's no reason to ever leave.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So anyhow, man, so that is Coach Sumrall, and then we move on. Let's get back into some bangers. All right, let's start to head towards the finish line strong here. And I think there's no secret here. One of my favorite shows of the entire year was whenever we had Taylor Hicks on. It was just so awesome. I couldn't believe it. We all hung out. You know, you told us at the end of one show we were wrapping up. I don't think it was even, I think it got cut. It wasn't in the show, but you said that, next week or whenever I was going to be in Orange Beach, I think I'm going to be over at the Floribama. I think Taylor Hicks is playing. I went, what? And then the next thing you know, we're there and saw him and jammed out, and all of us visited and all of that good stuff, made some videos and sent them out. And then the next thing I know, he said he'd love to be on the show. He reached out to us, and then so we had Taylor on, and what an honor. What a great interview. We could have kept going. It was awesome. But we'll start there. This was Cool Simon. This video did extremely, extremely well on social media, and one of our better videos of the year. Simon Cowell gave you a little bit of hell when you first auditioned. How was he behind the scenes?
He was great, man. I say this, he smoked cool cigarettes. And then sometimes I would, when I was making that run on that show, I mean, I needed to come on a cigarette every now and then. So I'd go down there and smoke cools with him. He was, no pun intended, he's a pretty cool dude.
It's hilarious, the puns, everything. But, you know, I had no idea that I don't care either way, but I didn't know that Simon smoked or Taylor Hicks smoked for that matter. And then after the fact, I've been listening to different things. It's amazing how many singers smoke. It just kind of surprises me, but I guess it could give you a raspier voice too, maybe.
It gives you that little bit of, you need something. You just got to be doing something. You got to have that. You got to do something. That little bit of stimulant that's in that little puff.
Just something to change it. Let's change things real quick. Yeah.
That's right. Paul says Taylor Hicks episode was cool, and honestly, the first he had heard about him since Idol. He's cool. He is cool.
Yeah,
he's a cool dude, man. He really is. And look forward. He's got a new album that'll be coming out sometime this year, and we hope to have him back on when he starts to promote that, and maybe get him to play a little more harmonica for us. Another episode where we had a little technical issue.
Yeah.
He played us out, folks, with a harmonica. Thank God we didn't lose the audio on it. Had no video feed of it, though, unfortunately.
Hey, we should get him to cut us an intro and outro to use on the show, just to have.
It's a good idea.
Absolutely. That's a great idea. Yeah.
There it is. All right. That's just what happens on lives.
There you go.
We will talk after this, but yeah, we need to reach out to him to do that. I was going to change the theme music for season 3.
Oh, there it is.
We better call Tigs. There it is. Let's rewrite it. Here's another one. From the great Taylor
Hicks. One of the
Hicks.
last cab rides out of Hurricane Katrina. That's kind of how I got to American Idol. I fled the storm. I was down there for a wedding in New Orleans. Come hell or high water, they were going to have that damn wedding.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I love about Louisiana folks. We got back to our hotel rooms. Half of us had to be evacuated. I went right to the airport and flew to Las Vegas on a whim. I got to the airport in Vegas, and my brother called and said, American Idol tryouts are in 45 minutes. So I went from the airport, and I went with the backpack, and I stood in line, and everybody was asking me where my kids were that were auditioning.
Oh, man.
This big old gray, shaggy hair, but I guess you could Google the rest of it.
You're still my favorite American Idol winner for the record, and you always will be.
Mine too.
It's funny. I laughed on cue when I laughed early when he talked about his gray hair. I was like, oh, man, kind of scary. I thought that was me. I was here. So that dude's so good, man. I mean, there's so many you could show from him. I remember so much from that show.
Yeah, that episode, one of my definitely my favorite of the whole year. Just couldn't believe it. But what a cool dude! I was never nervous. Just a cool dude to interact with, and
I was listening to one of his records today. Fantastic.
He's just so good, man. I can't wait to hear this new album.
Talented individual.
Just what a voice! What a voice! There are clips looking through this. There's still some clips that I've never released that were just we had in the show, but I haven't ever released them. Probably going to drop some of those here in the next week or two as well. So
this is probably not. I don't know who it's this because this is a newer record of his. But my introduction, I would like for everyone to go if you hadn't in a while, go get In Your Time album from Taylor Hicks from 2015 and started at number 1, Son of a Carpenter, and listen to that. And that's what we're talking about. That's how good that guy. That's a good record right there.
That comes from the soul.
That's a solid album, top to bottom.
Not heavily produced with the American Idol stuff to make him somebody he's not.
No,
and
it sounds like what the Taylor I remember from down here at the Floribama and at the bars in Birmingham and down there on the beach, and the superstar he's become with honed his talent in over 30 years of entertaining. You know what I mean? And that's a great record. If the new one's that good or better, I'm super pumped. I know it will be, but that's a good. Everybody start there. The other ones are good too. I'm not saying that, but just go listen to that and you'll be hooked.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt about it. This little clip from him cracked me up right at the beginning of it. I think we used it as a preview. Not really one that went crazy on social media, but it's just too daggum good to not show it.
I was about 16. I bought my first harmonica at the Bessemer flea market, and I don't really recommend anybody buying anything that you blow and suck on at flea markets, to be honest with you.
That is great advice.
It is.
It was a good idea at the time.
That's still great advice.
That's funny. That's funny.
Don't buy anything you blow or suck on at flea markets. And my God, I got a feeling he's used that line before, but man, it's a good one.
It's a great one.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious. And then we'll leave Taylor with this. This one did do well, and for good reason. How did you and JR cross paths?
In Alabama, as far as musicians go, it's funny. All roads lead to Wayne Mills. He was kind of like the Alabama's version of Kevin Bacon. You know, I mean, you knew him. You either knew a family member of him, or you knew of him, or you knew somebody that knew of him, or somebody that was playing with him, or somebody that was getting drunk with him. So that's kind of, and Alabama's small anyway, you know, so it's funny. That's how we met, obviously, through Wayne and a lot of the travels and music and stuff.
No doubt. There it is. Yeah. Yeah. And we have Hal Bruni, and JR can tell us a little bit more about him. He's going to be coming on the show at some point this year. Hal, if you're watching this, I'm going to reach out to you next week and see when you can come on. I know he's been going through some health things here lately, so hopefully he's on the mend. But Hal's
always been going through some health stuff. He's always stomping around and falling around and running into stuff. Hal Bruni, the gypsy hell-raising high roller himself, man. Hal Bruni is the guy, when Wayne was playing football at Alabama, when his football career because he only had 2 years of eligibility to play football because he'd already played 2 at baseball at Wallace of Hanceville. He was, he was still in school. He hadn't finished school, but he was done with football, and he liked to sing, and he became buddies with Hal because Hal was rocking around locally, and Hal actually taught Wayne the chords to all the Hank Jr. and Waylon and the stuff that Wayne was known for, that style of music and stuff. And so Hal was very instrumental on getting Wayne's career going, and Hal's put out records over the years. He's played all over the country and stuff, and he's got a morning YouTube show he does now, and all kind. He has a festival he runs in Morgan City. I believe it's in Morgan City, but it's a big festival they do now. So he's got all kinds of cool stuff cooking, and he's a good cook too. And hunting and fishing. I mean, he's in all this, but he's based in Morgan City, Louisiana, which is about 20 miles west of Houma, Louisiana, where my wife's from, and that's 2 hours south of you, Tigs, maybe.
Yeah.
He'll be great to have on. He's a character. He'll have plenty and he'll have his harmonica on and his guitar. I mean,
dude, he can jam. If y'all go check him out, go check out his Facebook page and his YouTube page. He's on there every morning, and I'll stop and watch him for a few minutes here and there as I'm getting ready, or just listen to it. He will flat out. He can jam. So hopefully we get him in studio so he can come and jam, jam some songs for us too.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. Jason Hilton says that he's talking about Taylor Hicks. He never saw him on Idol, but that Tiggs and I have a hometown top 10 Idol contestant. We do. Tyler Mitchell from little old Florine, Louisiana, where I'm from.
That's really
yeah.
cool. Did not know that.
Yeah. He did well, did very well in it. Dude can sing. He's still rocking and rolling and trying to make it as far as I know. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Hilton. But yeah, that dude can freaking sing. And his dad is the sheriff of Sabine Parish. Oh. Totally unrelated. He, I think that all happened just prior to all of that happening too. But pretty cool.
No
dude
doubt.
can sing.
Really cool.
So, yeah, that ends it with Taylor Hicks. Kind of want to step gears, move over a little bit. I'm going to go back to the very first episode of the season. The handler's probably never even seen this, so let me give it a little bit of context because otherwise it's not going to make as much sense. This was dang near a year ago, okay? So I had this guy on the show. His name was Brandon Tritt, and he closed out season 1. He was the last guest on season 1. the first video episode that the show ever had. And then he opened season 2 whenever I caught up with him. So he went on this football tour all across America, man. He went to like Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan. He came to LSU and Alabama game. He went to Washington, all around the whole country. He went to bowl games. He went to the SEC championship.
Wow.
And he kind of explains all of these. I follow him on Instagram. I suggest everybody else does too. I can't remember his handle right now. Just search Brandon Tritt and you should find him. But he takes some of the most amazing videos, pictures, drone footage, all of that of all these college football places he's been to. But on top of that, he just takes amazing, beautiful pictures of everywhere he visits. He's able to work remotely. Young dude. Awesome, just awesome
Very
story.
cool.
So that is who Brandon Tritt is, and here's the video from the first episode this season. Look at how much the room's changed.
So, man, think about this for a second, Brandon. You saw Michigan play, LSU and Alabama, Georgia, TCU, Texas, Oregon, Utah. You saw the entire college football national picture throughout this journey. I think that's what's more amazing than anything, is that it's not just going to these cool places and having bucket list things go down. You actually followed the ebb and flows of the college football season. You didn't mean to do that. There's nobody that could have planned it out that way. But, man, you were at some crucial games at some crucial times.
I was thinking about that. During bowl season, I was like, you know what? I saw all 4 playoff teams play. And I saw the Orange Bowl champ, Rose Bowl champ, Sugar Bowl champ, Pac-12 champ. So, yeah, looking back, I think that this was a really fun college football season. A lot of cool storylines. For example, Tennessee coming back to being relevant in the national picture.
They're not anymore, but
short-lived.
Oh, that's crazy, though, dude. He did all that in one season, huh?
Yes, in one season, man.
Wild,
in
that's
one
wild.
season. He's a huge Florida State fan.
That's something I've always wanted to do. I wish I could get an RV, and one year I want to be able to do this and just each week travel. And during college football season, I mean, obviously I want to hit some Troy games, but I want to go all over the place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Show up, get there like on a Wednesday or something, and just take in the whole area, what's cool in this area. Small places, big places, all of them, man. That would be, God, that'd be so fun. Maybe we could take a show on the road one day, like
yeah,
somehow.
that would be amazing.
Yeah.
He's for
JR's
sure.
like, no, that's exactly what I don't want to do. I'm on the road enough.
Yeah, Handler's like trying to get away from the road. We're trying to get on it, but we'll find a good happy medium. Hilton says that was a great episode. He forgot about Brandon Tritt. Hell, it was almost a year ago, Hilton. Me too. I mean, it's crazy how time flies, but that was a good episode.
That's super cool,
I have
man.
some of the pictures that he's taken, that he took at these different stadiums. He had his drone, so he got some really amazing pictures of some really cool stadiums. So yeah, go check that one out. Then moving on, still staying early in the season, I think it's the second episode of the year. My good buddy and a guy that I graduated high school with in Florine, Andy Thaxton, came on. He has a YouTube channel, social media channels, I Dig History. Go check him out. He's a metal detector. Handler, I know, is familiar. I know he saw that episode.
Yep, great.
So
Very
we had
interesting.
him on and visited with him a good bit about just his process, how he gets started, things like that. And man, since then and before us, we're not responsible for this at all. But his channel has absolutely taken off, man. I think he has 10 or 12. I think he has 20,000 followers now on YouTube,
cool.
And
I follow him on Insta, and it's so interesting the stuff he finds and how you see some little something, and by the time he cleans it, it's like, oh my gosh!
Yeah, it's so amazing,
Wow.
man. One of the sharpest dudes that I've ever known in my life. So he's doing amazing things with his edits, his video edits, and putting everything together. Proud of him, man. And I can't wait to have him on. We keep saying that he is coming on in 2024, a guarantee, because the handler wants to meet him, and I've got questions, so we're not done with him. But here he is. Both of these videos I'm going to show from Andy, both had tons of views, close to 100,000 or so between them. Things that I did not know in that episode. We'll start with the first one. He's talking about plantation tokens. I'll let him explain.
Right after the Civil War, so during Reconstruction, when slaves were turned into paid employees, for the most part, plantations would turn around, instead of paying in actual legal tender, the plantation stores, the commissaries that they had on the plantations, they would basically make these brass tokens with denominations on them. And so it was a closed system, a rigged system. It wasn't fair, but this is what they did. So they made these tokens, and they paid these now paid workers, former slaves, to go use at the plantation store to buy their bread or tobacco or meat or whatever. That whole case right there, I found someone had either buried them all together or someone lost them all together, because they were all together. Probably one of the more interesting as far as the historical aspect of it, being able to kind of put the South Louisiana story together and just being able to tell this was actually used and for this purpose. That's just another way of telling the story.
So interesting, man.
Yeah, it is.
Just those little details and things. He could talk for hours about it. I know he could. And so could I. I mean, that would be a fun episode to have on, do a live with. You know, we can get some of his people to come over and bring, kind of merge them on a live
field.
Man, that'd be fun.
We'll go search somewhere. We'll go search. It doesn't matter where you're at. There's no telling what's under your feet.
No telling.
Even a few inches or a few feet or a mile down. There's no telling what's anything.
When you watch his videos, it doesn't look like he's digging super deep to get down to get this stuff at all.
It's wild. I know.
It's awesome, man. It's awesome. Paul says that he had never heard the episodes before you joined JR. So kind of I second what Hilton says. Go back and watch some of them. There's some pretty cool stuff. It's all funny how all the pieces have fit throughout the year. That's kind of fun watching these videos. You can see how, especially the Odie has changed in its time, and this studio too has changed some too. And going to keep growing. Handlers just kicks ass. He has that $4,000 microphone that makes him sound like smooth silk.
Hey, I noticed tonight I don't have my earpieces in. Have you noticed? Is my doing any echo? Is everything fine?
It was echoing a little bit, but it isn't terrible. I got it.
Turn down my gain.
No, it's fine.
No, you're fine. You don't need to do anything. You're good. You're good.
Yeah, I thought Brantley was echoing earlier just a little bit, but it's not echoing anymore.
Yep.
Yep,
that fixed it. So anyhow, that was the plantation tokens, and then here's another little interesting Tigs bit from Andy on that same show.
That's from the early 1700s. That's a hammered silver Spanish coin. They would just kind of knock a little chip of it off, and they would stamp it on, and that's what their coins were. When people think about pirate treasure, they think about these. These are called cobs, but that's probably the oldest silver coin I have, early 1700s. I dug something that's worth well over $10,000. And I'll tell you that it's in one of my videos.
Now you got to go watch them all and figure it out. And I did figure it out, for the record, by watching them all. Side text, I can't divulge which one it was, but it was but it's pretty cool. But it's really neat that you can go out. That's not the appeal. That's not why you go out there, is to, it's not every day you're going to find something that valuable. But man, you're holding a piece of just a whole different world, man. Like, just a whole different world.
Dude, it's so cool. Like a buddy of mine, and this was outside of Opp, a little area called Fleta, and what was that, Yellow River that used to flow through there and flowed into Lake Jackson there in Opp. And along Yellow River, along those banks, man, there's so much like flint, like natural flint in that area. You could go behind his house in those fields, and it's unbelievable the amount of arrowheads that we would find, pottery that we would find. I mean, you could go out there any day and you could find, 3 or 4 broken arrowheads, some pieces of pottery any day of the week, especially when they would go out there and disc that field up. to plant, I'd always would go out there and search. Then they would find all kinds of stuff, and it's just crazy how thick it was, just even there in that one spot, you know.
And you never. It's like it's like him holding the piece of silver in his hand. Who was the last person to hold that in their hand?
That's amazing,
it fell out of their
isn't
hand.
it? Yeah.
You know how many years ago? I mean, who knows?
I know, man. It's nuts.
I used to think about that with those, when find those arrowheads. It's like,
yeah.
I wonder how this got here. Like, did they shoot? Did they miss? Was this like used as defense? Were they trying to kill a deer? Like, what was
exactly?
Going on, Yeah.
There's tons and tons of arrowheads and different, different pottery and all kinds of different artifacts in Toledo Bend Reservoir, where I grew up. They impounded that lake in the late '60s and flooded it. And then every now and then when the lake gets low, like they've drawn it down to fix the dam or whatever, there's some of those places. And I've gone out with my ex-brother-in-law and looked for arrowheads and stuff, and he's found them all over the place. And a few years ago when they drained it down to fix the dam, they found all kinds of stuff that had been under the water basically since it flooded, and it was all of that was like in the middle of the woods. At the time, you'd have never found it, and then those trees have rotted and all that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man, it's totally nuts, but yeah.
Well, it's like me in Colorado finding those shark's teeth. There was a shark. That was a shark, I'm 6,000 foot elevation and I'm finding a 90 million year old shark tooth.
Isn't that crazy?
That's nuts, isn't it?
It's crazy.
Insane.
Yeah, Hilton says arrowheads fascinate him too. He says, I don't dig but find layering on top of the ground after a rain. It's just like, how many rains did it take for that to finally rain off enough dirt, for it to show itself? Yeah, it's amazing, man. It's amazing.
It is.
Moving along, this was one of my favorite stories because it has opened up a Pandora's box for the show, and it happened in the middle of a show, but we've talked more about it, and we will be talking more about this kind of stuff moving forward. Let me just show it.
But you got to go through the woods to get there. I mean, there ain't no street lights, ain't nothing in the middle of nowhere. We're driving that truck, dude. It's not like we were messed up or anything like that. We're sober. It was a little bit overcast, which kind of sucks, because it took away from the clarity of what I was trying to see. But these three orbs were kind of in front of us, just moving. But I didn't think that much about it, right? I just I don't know what I'm seeing up there. But, dude, and then I just keep watching them. And, dude, they're just getting kind of more quicker and more powerful. And there's three of them. There's no airport. We're in the middle of nowhere. And, dude, they're not, it really kind of feels more aggressive. I don't know if that makes sense or not. Well, dude, I kind of get a little scared. And I remember Marty or Eric or one of them's like, punch it. And dude, he's got a Chevrolet truck, a new Chevrolet truck, and dude, I freak out. Dude, I stomped the gas pedal, and I swear to God this happened. I stomped the gas pedal. That truck went nowhere, just sat still. I mean, we're doing probably 45.
Crazy.
That was
man.
Crazy. That was crazy.
I bring that. I bring that. That video did well. It wasn't one of the top watched of the year, but. That subject just keeps coming back, and it reminded me that we never addressed this on a show. I kept trying to spit this out during the show, and just couldn't do it. Joe Rogan had an episode where he talked to David Grush, the UFO whistleblower that's been testifying in front of the Congress and all of that. He on several things. He still works for the military, has clearance to talk about this, blah, blah, blah. He told an experience that was very similar to what that story was at the beginning of that episode with Joe Rogan, and just blew my mind, and I kept forgetting to tell Blasey. I know he went back and checked it out, but
yeah, dude, man, it's
insane.
That was nuts, yeah, because you had told me that. I'd watched part of those episodes, but I didn't hear that part. And I went back and listened to it, and I was like, wow, that is kind of eerily very similar, to the experience that I went through. So it was
very similar.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy. Look, your boy Hal Laird has decided to chime in tonight with them hands. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah.
That is the
Look forward to getting
he is
Hal.
the dad of the more famous Murphy Laird.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
He is the father of our official field correspondent, and
Hal's father is a funky piano player that's got all kinds of acclamations himself. He's met and done all kinds of cool stuff. Andy's a trip too. Look at the jowls.
Andy could tickle those ivories,
yes,
boys,
could,
as
buddy.
good as anybody. Yeah,
Good,
so Hal
funny guy
has
too.
a great father and just a cool son. You know, Hal's just kind of right there in the middle. You know, so nobody talks about him very much.
And Hal's our friend.
That's
Soft
right.
shell.
That's right.
I know Hal's. Hey, I can tell you this: Hal very instrumental on me learning a lot about Southern rock and stuff that I didn't know coming out of high school. If it wasn't for Hal and Cadwell on some dirt roads, I wouldn't know a lot that I know about Southern rock for sure. And Hal's my brother. Hal, hey, I told y'all the story about me and Hal running out of Bourbon Street that time. Me and Hal had some good times.
Yeah, you have.
Hal used to own the bar in Troy for a little while too. Boy, was my roommate at one time. Lord have mercy. Yeah, Hal and Hal's a brother for sure.
Ain't no doubt. Ain't no
Love
doubt,
that
man.
guy.
Hilton says he forgot about that episode, that he was coming back from West Texas and saw an orb in the sky like a white ball. And he told his wife, "What is that?" She said, "That's there's a white," and it was gone. So
man. Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy that you can't ever get the dadgum, that you can't take a picture of them, a video of them.
It's crazy.
Strategic.
You know, I mean, why, if they could get here, why wouldn't they have to prevent cameras from taking good pictures of them? I mean, they made it here.
Yeah.
Anyhow, that we're not talking about UFOs tonight, but let me jump into this one. This is one of the videos, one of the most viewed videos this year, surprisingly. But it's just a little shout out to my heroes. So let me play this.
There's so many little nuggets that I've taken out of Fly on the Wall, and so many little things. I'm a huge Saturday Night Live fan and always have been. I mean, look behind me. There's Chris Farley, Adam Sandler, and David Spade. Do you think that show may be one of my favorites? I mean, come on. I'll say it. Those guys are my heroes. Like it or not, I looked up to those guys. I still do.
It's my favorite thing in here, man, is that picture.
I'm looking up to those guys and looking down at an empty bottle of scotch.
Look, they're not role models. They weren't role models by any means, but they all did well, and two of them
I still
are
listen to that show all the time. I love that podcast.
Oh, it's great. I've listened to every single episode, and heartfelt sympathy goes out to Dana Carvey losing his son towards the end of last year. I know that's tough on him, but man, that's Fly on the Wall. Definitely my favorite podcast. Go check it out if you like Saturday Night Live. If you like funny things, you want to hear how the sausage is made, how the soup is made, or whatever, go listen to that, because they have the behind-the-scenes people, and they talk about things you never would have known that would happen on Saturday Night Live, or some of the funniest sketches that you've ever seen. So coming back in, got another one from Bobby John. Just had to bring it in because it was one of the top 25 most viewed videos that we had this year. Let's show it. But I can only imagine what it's actually like when you're out there 24/7, miserable as all get out, you know, and it doesn't look like fun. I mean,
no. I mean, by that day 5 or 6, you're thinking, what in the world did I sign up for?
And you can hear there as the audio got terrible at the end with him. That's what we had to deal with on that show. But I mean, he answered so many questions about Survivor and things that I had wondered for years, questions my mom had, all kinds of stuff. So we got to get him back on, and we will. But it's interesting to hear him talk about, how, there was nothing fun about it. It didn't look fun. The way he played it didn't look fun.
And first time ever, he finally revealed that fire challenge and how that all went down on Tigs Bits.
He was no longer bound by the the claws with Worldwide Pants or whatever they are. Not Worldwide. That's David Letterman. Showing my age, but whatever. The
I used to have a Worldwide Pants shirt.
Mark Burnett.
Yeah, Mark
Productions.
Burnett.
That's who does Survivor. So yeah, he
Merv
did. He
Griffin
revealed
Enterprises.
the good Dr. Merv. But yeah, that was a good one. And speaking of good doctors, had to bring this one in. Another good video, but he explained when we had our good friend, y'all's good friend, now my good friend, Tim Michael Schmidt on Schmitty. When we had him on the show, we asked him what an executive producer is exactly. And what this segment is, we kind of, if you haven't figured this out, you probably haven't because I haven't told you about it. This is the interesting part of some of our things. These are some interesting stories that we've had over the past year. But I found this super interesting because I've really never known what the hell does an executive producer do on a show or a movie. He answers it.
Executive producer is kind of top of the food chain. The movie doesn't happen without that individual. They are the business side of it. They are the ones that usually buy the script, own the script. They are the business. They own the project. If it fails, it's their fault. If it wins, they win. They get the benefit, right? They're the ones that are going to accept the Oscar for the best film, and it's because it's theirs. They also get the windfall from it.
I mean, now you know what the executive producer does.
Yeah, I did not know that. I did not know it. Nope.
No.
Thank you.
Fun episode with Tim Michael Schmidt, and he, in fact, he reached out to me the other day, a few days ago, and said he wants to come back on, but he wants to do something a little bit different. He wants to host us and interview us.
I love it.
Let's do it.
I do too, and let's do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that may not be one we want to do live.
How could that not be good?
It'll be great. I don't know if we want to do that one live with him, though. To be honest,
probably need to do editing.
No.
Yeah. Tim Michael Schmidt requires editing, folks. So I don't think we're to the point
just
of
like
having him on.
Just like a great movie.
We're just doing it to protect Schmidt's career.
That's
He's
it.
trying
Yes.
to be an
Absolutely.
actor. We're just a couple of microphone wannabes, so we just want to make sure he doesn't get no trouble with our shenanigans.
Yes,
right. No, we would love to have
Nothing
a kind
to
of
do with
a
us.
clip that would go viral, maybe even cancel him.
Yeah.
But I don't want to cancel him. I just would love to have the content. Maybe it would boost him up. I don't know. Tim, you're watching.
We'll have it for later. We could use it.
Yeah, it's up to you,
Hoss.
Hoss. It's up to you. But that led me into this. We're going to kind of start to get into some funnier clips as we start to wind this down. I told y'all we got a lot of clips. There's 48 clips here. We did 49 shows. I'm giving you 48 clips. Okay. Wow. Yeah, just got to do it. You know, it's what you do with a best of episode. And thank God that we have you here to talk. AR.
Lightning's the one that gets me. I still give me the heebie-jeebies. You know, I know I've met.
I respect Lightning. I respect Lightning more than as much as anybody.
It hit near my house one time. I got some residuals through the house, came through the mouse, pushed me back. All I remember is it felt like I saw a blue energy ball in my lap, and I was pushed away, and my arm was locked up like this for like 30 minutes. I could not straighten it out. I was like, no, I'm in this house that's as big as my studio. Windows on every wall. I'm sitting in the middle like there's nowhere to go.
You got struck by lightning, man. Is what happened.
Yeah, you really did.
I mean, you can call it what you want to. You got struck by lightning.
True story. True story.
My arm.
Dude, y'all, I had that mouse, and it was just like, it was almost out of a movie scene. It like, my chair went back like, woo, like push away, like out of, rolled away. The mouse goes out of my hand. My arm draws up, like when you get like shunt, like when you use the muscle stimulator thing or whatever, electrical, it draws you. But it was drawn up so tight, and for a minute or two there, I'm thinking, why is my arm not straightening out? I was freaking out. It would not straighten out,
so
and I,
good.
and like I said, there's nowhere to go. It's still lightning all around. I'm in that house, like, oh Lord, please let it stop.
Let me just middle this room and hang on, huh?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of weather, that came from a weather episode. I think that show was called The Weather Show, which I love that little thumbnail I made with it. I'm just self-sucking myself because it looked like the Weather Channel logo. But anyhow, speaking of weather, that show, talking about weather, got us our next guest onto the show. His videos and the video itself haven't gone as crazy as I thought it would. Apparently, not as big of a market out there for storm chasers as I thought, but I'm a storm chaser. I'm a storm chaser enthusiast. I'm not a storm chaser.
If you haven't checked it out, check this guy out, dude. He's unbelievable, man.
It's the one episode, I would say it's the most underrated episode that we did the whole season.
Yes. That dude's so interesting. So interesting.
He's so
I can't wait to
interesting.
get him. Hey, he comes down here. I'm getting in that truck with him.
Hell yeah, dude.
I think that's what he said. If he didn't say it, that's what I heard, and that's what I plan to do. So.
He said we could come up there. Yes. He's,
wherever.
He's fine with us being a part of it. So hell yeah. But here he is talking about a terrifying tornado, and it's just kind of a part of a clip, but Blasey and I'll explain the rest.
And I could see the tornado, the big white tornado going through the cornfield to my east about a quarter mile.
Wow.
It's at the grain silos. It's heading, the farm's gone. You hear cows mooing and stuff, and they're hurt. And so anyway, the grain silos and all the tractor equipment is thrown out in the field. And this is crazy. They had, on the north wall of this house, is about the only wall standing, okay? They had a dial rotary phone on that side of the house. I picked up the phone. There's a dial tone. I said, what's your name? She tells me her name. I said, because we got the cavalry coming. Well,
whoa. yeah.
Oh
so it was too long of a clip to put it out. But before that, he was talking about he was in a truck. He had a transmission or some kind of issues. His truck died.
Yeah, his U-bolt broke.
Yeah, that's what happened. And then he had to run to this house, told them a tornado was coming. They all went to the basement and saved their lives, basically, and then come back out of the basement after the tornado had passed, and that's what happened. There was a freaking rotary phone with still had a dial tone.
Wow. Yeah, they had to run towards that house, like as the storm's coming, it's coming at them. The U-joint in that truck went out, brand new truck. Whoop, and he's just sitting there like, we can't get out of here. So they have to take off running. They're running to the storm. The storm's coming towards the house, and it's in between them. And they get to the house, go inside, and the whole house. They end up in the basement. The whole thing collapses, tears the whole thing apart. They make it just in time.
Incredible.
Yeah,
Man,
it's crazy.
He tells several stories. The thing with that was you better eat or you better drink about 8 cups of coffee before you listen to it. Get ready. He is wide ass open. I mean, he talks fast, dude. He goes. And we got a lot in a short period of time, you know. But then I think the thing started to derail a little bit when I hit him with this. Do you have a beef with Reed Timmer?
No.
Do y'all ever work together? Or that's my Donahue moment.
Dude, it's funny, his eyes, the way they looked, I'll never forget that too, because I thought, well, Brantley went for it, you know, and we just sat there a second. He just stared. No.
I think
he's another storm chaser.
He should lobby for us going back to everybody having to have a landline for national security.
Yeah,
wouldn't be a bad idea.
You know, think about it. That landline didn't crash. It didn't have a glitch.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. It's exactly right. But yeah, Reed Timmer, another storm chaser. You know, I have a visual that in my mind. I love weather. I love all of these guys. But you know, an anchorman, whenever the opposing weather guys and the opposing news crews, they're all out there and they're jousting and doing all of that. That's how I envision storm chasers.
Yes.
When they're out there chasing a storm, like they
running
meet up
each other off the road and stuff.
Yeah, they're running each other. They meet at this Texaco. They're like, "Son of a bitch up there. I'm gonna kick his ass when he doesn't even know what's coming." And just all, you know, that's the kind of
the
stuff
car has like the things that come out of the wheels with the spikes that turn to cut up the
Yes.
other guy's tires and stuff.
Yeah.
Little button to make an oil slick. Smoke screen, like Spy Hunter,
like a little Mario Kart. What I love about it is there's a couple of different approaches with these storm chasers. So you have Reed Timmer, who has this elaborate avalanche basically that's built that will go down to the ground so it won't get sucked up and all of this stuff. It's hail proof and it's just beaten to hell. all of that. And then the other approach is you just rent a car from and say, screw it.
Yeah,
Let's
pay
see
the
what
deposit. Pay buy the extended insurance policy. Let it ride.
With it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming that's what he does because
Everybody wins.
I would be petrified if I'm out chasing a storm in a rental car. Like I'm going to end up owning this rental car, but that makes sense. But yeah. So Jeff Pitrowski, if you haven't checked out that episode, go and listen to it.
Oh yeah, that's
it's going to get reposted at some point this year. Whenever we have some kind of major weather situation, a tornado outbreak, I'm going to drop it again because it's too good. He tells too many good things that people just need to hear. It's a good show, and he needs to retweet it. But anyhow, I digress. So, look, let's just keep on going. This was something that kind of got brought up. As you can tell, we're getting kind of later on in the year here with some of these things. And this was brought to our attention when we had our good friend Carter Bryant on the show talking a little football and all, but he didn't realize what he was getting into at the moment. And then we had to explain some more things.
We have a third co-host that's usually running with us. He's a freaking Alabama fan. So I don't know what's happening here at Tigs Bits, but we cover everything. We're covering everybody. It's nothing but love over here at the Tigs Bits show. And we haven't worked through a football season together yet. So this whole thing could just absolutely collapse on itself.
Well, we made it, boys.
We survived.
We survived a football season. We don't hate each other.
You're the only one that got a bowl win.
I'm glad you're acknowledging that.
That's right.
I wasn't even going to bring it up. We ended.
Hey, how about my new hat, Lacey? You notice that?
Dude, that thing looks awesome, brother.
Let me tell y'all, we're gonna have to put the link up because this is a sweet hat in person. It's as cool as it is on the picture. It's just a good fitting hat.
It looks good.
Is that a 112 or what is that thing? Or is it something different completely?
The game.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Snapback.
Yep.
Old school.
Yep, I like it.
I like it, man.
Yeah, I sent you the link to it, and I don't even have one yet.
I got another rant we can go on and do a whole show about one day. What is made in America? It'll take us all episode to find two things, maybe.
Oh yeah,
it's tough.
I remember going through the airport in D.C. when Justin had to sing something for the Republican Party convention thing right after Trump was elected. And I was going to get Make America Great hat at the airport because, I'm there. I'm in D.C. There's the hat thing. I pick it up. It's made in China.
Of course.
Of course, I did not buy it.
That's unbelievable, isn't it?
Are you kidding me? So, but we used to make things here. We got to get back to that. But, yeah, I just looked at that hat because I cross my fingers every time hoping it's some miracle that it's made in America, but I'm usually disappointed.
Yeah. For sure.
Very few things.
Buy American if you can, though, because every time you buy something, you're making a vote. If you buy good stuff at the grocery store, they'll have more of it and it'll get cheaper. If you buy more stuff from American companies, there'll be more of it and it'll get cheaper. So
that's true.
That's it.
That is true.
Vote.
Sticking with Carter. I wanted to bring this one in. This video got a lot of views. It's in the top 25 for the year. Not everything held up as expected. We'll watch it.
I think this SEC season can get very wild. Normally, we have a very static and rigid SEC at the top. I think, obviously, with the East, I think every single one of us are going to pick Georgia. But in the West, I could see some real movement with the shuffling that's happening in Alabama. Obviously, LSU has some holes. And Ole Miss, Arkansas, and Texas A&M have some very interesting teams this year. So really excited about just even if you take off the LSU shirt and all the LSU stuff and the LSU channel, just from looking at it as a neutral perspective, the SEC is very strong in the West this year.
I mean, it wasn't totally too far off at all, really.
No,
but
not at all.
You know, an interesting season. I wanted to go back and kind of see some of those things. I thought for some reason he had picked Jaden Daniels to win the Heisman in that podcast that we did with him. Not, he picked Bo Nix to win the Heisman, but it said that Jaden Daniels was going to have.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And then while we're sticking with sports, these are some of the sports ones that really did well this year. This is the last one. Had our good buddy, Mr. TK, Tommy Chrysan, on the show, another show that we had technical issues on. I only got about half of it recorded with him, and then I had to kind of just finish the back end by myself. It stopped recording, but whatever. We did get this little nugget out of him. He had been on season 1, so I had to give him kudos on what he had predicted. But before we start, Tommy, I have to remind everybody you were on the show last October and you made some bold predictions, you know, and they were bold at the time, especially. And looking back, we're not even a year removed from this. And you made the prediction. You said Kim Mulkey, Jay Johnson, and Brian Kelly would all win national championships within their tenure at LSU. Well, we got 2 out of the 3 out of the way in less than a year. Hell yeah, we did. All right, I plugged that one in there because I've had to deal with this Troy and Alabama bullshit for long enough. So yeah, that was okay. It did well, but it didn't do that great. But I had to give a little shout out to good old TK. He's awesome. Definitely we'll be having him on again, but just continuing to move on. We're getting close. This is kind of like the part of the show with Widespread Panic where they go all of a sudden they kind of start they just finished up Driving Song. You know, they've finished up the deal, they've sandwiched something in between it, and then they're just kind of starting to doodle for a little bit. We're into the drums part of the show right now where we're just playing drums, okay? We're getting there, though, but we're getting close to the damn encore, and it's going to be good.
Snap.
So,
yeah.
You know, this starts it with me.
Next time we're doing food first or food last because I've been hungry for an hour.
That was kind of a mistake.
I think it was.
Super hungry. Yeah, I got food in there still, yeah.
I'm going to devour something when we're done. I'm still hungry. But this is one of the truer statements, one of my favorite things that has been said on the show in all of 2023.
I always tell people music's like the soundtrack to your life. You know, it's what's in the background while you're doing whatever you're doing throughout your day.
Always love that. That was from the very first episode that we had JR the Handler on. That was the name of the episode, Soundtrack of Your Life. That video clip did extremely well on social media everywhere, but man, it's so true.
No doubt. I think it rings the soundtrack for me lately and my wife has been Goose. We have been wearing Goose out.
Yes.
I pulled up. I pulled up to the house tonight from doing a little side job. I was listening to it on the ride over. Turned my boy Mike Diamond onto it. I come in the house. I come in the house and she's got it playing on the Alexa deal.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Excellent.
I was like, what are the chances?
You know, we got to do.
Usually we don't always link up with what we like musically, she and I, but this one we do, so it's cool.
That's
man,
great,
they just cross over. They're just they cross over.
It's not happy. Genres. It's not happy, smiley jam band. It's space jam, kind of bluesy, jazzy. It's just a good fusion, but it's not. It's not. I don't know how to explain it. It's not hipster, but it's not hippie. It's just cool. I don't know.
Well, I think this is a good question for you. You bring this up. Goose is getting a new drummer. I don't know the whole story on what all's up or whatever. Doesn't seem like it's anything super bad. I don't know. But you've been around enough musicians and all of that. How does that affect a band, especially one like Goose who's just coming off of back-to-back 10,000-seat arena, you know, the biggest shows of their careers, and they're rocking and rolling. How can that affect them? Just a speed bump?
Yeah, usually. I mean, it could do anything. It could be it could be a hiccup, if they don't have the right guy, but I'm sure they're going to get the right guy, and it's going to add it's going to add a new level. It'll be another incarnation, but it usually takes it up a notch. Usually, because usually everybody's more seasoned by that point, and if you're especially when you're to a stature where other people want to be in that band, you're not having to beg somebody to play in your band. So I mean, they're going to have A-list people putting their name in the hat, and usually how that works is. Everybody in the band and the artist and everybody throws names in the hat, or and then they'll do an audition, or they may already have somebody in mind it might be the guy's tech. He might step up, or somebody, another percussion guy go there, and then they get a new percussion guy to fill him. I mean, who knows? But I think it's usually comes out better. You think about all of them. You never heard like the band just fell apart because this one or that one. Bands change, if you lose a guitar player, even a singer and stuff. But drummer's the heartbeat of the band, so got to have a solid drummer. And I'm sure, like I said, a band of their stature now, they're going to have some really good choices to pick from, and it'll be even better, I think. I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah, for sure. I look forward to seeing what they come up with. Max leaning towards Hunger Sight as his jam. I'm a So Ready kind of guy. I love them, but there's no bad song, dude. I can listen to them all. They're all freaking
I think he said he's learning it. He might be figuring out how to play it.
Oh, well, hell, there you go.
Yeah. McAdoo's a picker. Mac'em Shack'em
Is he?
Doo-doo.
Okay.
That's my brother.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Silas, Alabama.
Look, speaking of funnies, we repurposed this joke. We brought it back, but it was brought back for this particular reason. Here's the OG from the Elvis and Outlaws show.
They called Elvis the King, here. Do y'all know what they called him in Japan?
No.
The King. Hell, he's the damn king, son. Where he was the king.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, that's
never
funny.
gets old. Yeah, it was
story.
Yeah, it is, and just wasn't expecting
so
it
good.
whenever that happened that night. But yeah, man, that was a good one. Then this happened. We got these new fancy ass mics later in the season. I got one. Took one episode. Blasey's like, yeah, I got to get one too. We had to catch up to the handler. He's still got the OG king of the mics, but at least we're half stepping a little bit. And this is kind of how
we got the two younger brothers here.
I need all the tricks. I need all the advantages and tricks I can use, boys. My gimmick bag be biggeth.
Lord knows I do too. With these mics, I no longer move from side to side. I just use the chair and I keep my head locked up in this son of a bitch.
Keep your head on a swivel right here.
Yeah, absolutely. I can turn around, but I ain't leaving this mic. I ain't never gonna leave this mic. Now, I harnessed one of my favorite comedians currently. His name is William Montgomery, the Memphis Strangler. There's all kinds. He's hilarious. Just look him up. Just look him up.
Different too. He is.
What's his name?
Different.
His name is William Montgomery. Just
He's
look
messed
up
up.
William Montgomery on Kill Tony. It's hilarious.
It takes a minute to get him. It takes a few minutes to get him. Like, you don't just start listening to him and think you're listening to another like a comedian. It's weird.
It
like
is
to begin
weird,
with.
yes.
Yeah, but it's good. It is good. It just takes a minute.
But one of his little catchphrases is that he ain't ever gonna stop. So that's why I ain't ever gonna stop using this mic. But what I did learn is that I did need to stop letting it go over, and the whole little red light was just blinking the whole time as I'm screaming into it. Anyhow, it needed a limiter. It's what I learned from that. But that was a fun little video. Brings us into this one. This is number 3 most viewed video of the year. Yeah, we're getting down
right here
to the nut crunching here. The hammers are coming in. We're getting ready to get to the cores.
To the big boy.
Don't
to
say
the big
meat and
boys.
potatoes
But
'cause
this
I'm
is
starving.
coming in at number 3 on the year.
It starts off, she's really kind of thrown, taken aback. He's got like rose petals in her dressing room, and he gives her a rose when she gets there. He goes in, tells her he loves her, and, really hoping by the end of the night, they can work on marriage. And like, she's kind of like, oh, wait, this is a little rushed, like, whoa. And she was like, this is so bizarre. I don't know what's going on here.
Wow.
He had her really, really, frazzled. But at the same time, she is cool that she is able to make fun of herself,
but she had no idea tonight on that show what she was getting involved in, and how that I was watching some of the comments on YouTube. They're like, "Oh my God, yeah, she was not ready for this in any capacity."
Man, what a
the one
run
only
that
Alex
video!
Stein.
Oh,
Primetime '99, baby.
Primetime '99
Pimp on a blimp, and yeah, Tiffany. Tiffany's supposed to be joining the show, I think, isn't she? I mean, I think
yes. So
yeah,
we've been talking to Tiffany. Going to reach out to her, hopefully next week, and try to lock it down. We're gonna have hopefully, fingers crossed, have Miss Tiffany Gomas on the show to talk about everything. She's just a cool chick. We've Blasey and I've listened to her on some different things, and I've watched her on some other podcasts. She's cool, man. So she's definitely not the crazy plain lady whatsoever. She's just the cool
we covered
lady.
that. Me and JR, that should be in there somewhere. But we talked about that, JR. Hey, you're like you have that moment in time. So, and I'm sure we'll bring that back up again.
Oh yeah, we will.
Right.
All right, this brings me to, while we're on a run of funnies, one of my favorite stories of the whole year. It just still tickles me. I'm going to be laughing when this goes on. It's probably not as funny to you, Blasey, but
he and I were playing golf, and I hit one down under these oak trees, and he pulls up under these trees. As soon as he pulls up, I hear this, what I determined to be a baby crying, and it's coming from my golf bag. I don't carry around a baby in my golf bag. All that I knew was that does not make any sense. And I didn't even say a word. I just took off running in a full sprint. I mean, when I say running, dude, I ran far. He starts yelling at me, and he realized, why I'm running. And there were these kids in a tree above us. And one of them made a noise that sounded just like a baby coming from my golf bag. And I just knew that doesn't make any sense. And I cannot process it. But I've got to go. I've got to get out of here.
That's it. That's exactly what they got picked up on, JR. Yeah, that's it.
It just cracks me up, man. It is so damn funny to me that they were doing that.
Sometimes you got to get out of there. Just like Hal. It's funny. I was with Hal. I had to get out of there. You're with Hal. Y'all had to get out of there.
I remember one time me and Hal walking down the side of the road, and I guess it was in Destin or Panama City or somewhere. And this ain't even been that long ago, but he and I got to wrestling or something, or horse playing or whatever. And here comes the cops up on us with their lights, and I think Laura was there, and she was like, "Y'all stop, quit, look." And we're like, "Oh, sorry, we're just playing." They were like, "Would y'all friggin' stop? Get out of the road. What are y'all doing, you idiots?" And yeah. Anyway, we didn't take off and run that time, thank goodness.
Too old to run.
I'm butchering that story. We'll get Hal on to tell it next time.
Hell yeah. Well, look, we're going to close the second set with this one, and then we're going to come back very quickly. We're not taking an encore. We're just going to come in, wrap it up with our two hammers. But let me close this set with this one. This is one of the funniest moments that we had on the show this entire year. Totally got to tip my cap to Blasey for making this happen. It was brilliant in the moment. It's still brilliant now. Let's watch it.
You're on Tigs Bits right now. We're doing a podcast, and we're talking about Four Union. And back in the day, like in the late 80s and early 90s, we used to use this before Google, and we would call all the time. Back in the late 80s, early 90s, you could call. There was no Google. There was no internet. How did they have such large access to information? Because they could even tell you the best chili recipe. I mean, it's crazy the stuff they could tell you.
Exactly. Right now, we're fortunate enough to have the help of Google, but
Sure.
I don't know how they did it back in the day.
I think it was some government-funded program, and they were the only ones that had access
CIA.
to the CIA, yeah, CIA. There's something going on there.
Another little sprinkle of Bobby John coming in there. But man, that story was brought up before and then confirmed on that show. That's crazy, that FOI union.
It is crazy. It is crazy. Yeah, it's nuts. They had access to so much information back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know how they did it. It doesn't make any sense at all.
No.
I don't know, man. JR, did you ever call that FOI union?
No, but I know what you're talking about. That it's amazing how that works. I don't know how they figured that out.
It's nuts. My mom even knew about it. It's insane. MG says, dang, I just got here. Well, don't worry, MG. You're here for the close, baby. You get to hear all the good stuff. Or just rewind it if you want to. You know, you can just start all over, whatever you need to do. But thanks for coming. Glad you're here. All right, so coming in, let's hit these encores. Now, this next one is unbelievable guest. Can't believe that we had him on. Thank you so much, JR, for facilitating it and making it happen. And DDP, I promise you, I am not making a resolution, but I promise you I'm getting back on the yoga train and getting back into doing it. I've slipped. I've not been doing it like I need to. And don't you worry, I'm going to be coming back. I'm going to be diamond cutting and doing everything and get back into it. But look, let's just start here. I love this video from DDP.
They called me Pop, the Prince of Promo. I would put asses in the seats before there was ever a Diamond Dallas Page.
Dude,
so
that's
awesome.
so pimp. That is so pimp.
It is so pimp. He's in a damn hot tub. He does this whole interview going back and forth between a hot tub, a cold plunge. He takes us on, shows us all of his equipment, motivates us, tells some of the best stories. Unbelievable.
That was so good. That was so good.
It was so good. Let's watch another one with DDP.
This is one of my 2 chambers. Here's another one in here, which is 15 PSI. Looks like a damn spaceship.
I heard you on Joe Rogan a few years ago, and he was talking about trying to get you into one of those after y'all did that podcast. Is that the thing that he was talking about that goes to like 12 PSI or something?
He wasn't talking about PSI. He was talking about floating in those tanks.
Oh, okay.
Where it's all salt. And it's completely blacked out. You feel like you're floating in the sky.
You did it?
No, I have never done that yet. I haven't done it, but I would. I would do it now. I want to see what it's like because Joe is always on the cutting edge. Like, it was really funny. Yeah. He started ice tubbing around the same time that I did. Then I started to see the guests he brought on. Then I started to learn about it. Then I did the research and the science. I'm not doing anything that there hasn't been a ton of science on. But if it feels good and I know it's good, then I'm going to keep doing it.
Freaking DDP,
simple,
dude.
Makes so
I
much
still
sense.
can't believe that we had Diamond Dallas Page on this show, dude. Bang! I can't believe it, man. I can't believe it.
I was
so
just texting
awesome.
him earlier.
Were you?
Yeah, I texted him right when we started the show. I'd sent him something. He never replied, and I didn't know if it made it or not. I saw the receipt, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot to text you, bro. When you coming to Atlanta?"
Let me kill you with
he's
this workout.
He's opening a new performance center beach getaway place down in Panama City on Panama City Beach. So whenever that's open, 100% we can go there and record or do whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, dude, that'd be great. I gotta get back on that too. But I lost my account, JR. I got to figure that one out.
Let me know. Whatever we got to do.
They told me to expire it and they would put me on something else. I got nothing now.
All right. Well, yeah.
No, we'll just messing with you.
We'll figure it
That's
out.
great, dude.
I
can't wait to.
I got in the floor before I got in the shower to get ready for this podcast. My back's been killing me, so I got in the floor and did a little stuff to loosen up a little bit. I told Sharice I got to get back on the horse. But I do
a lot of it on the beach when I'm fishing. I do a lot of that stuff, and the stretching and all. Like, dude, it is phenomenal, and I'll do that kind of while I'm sitting there fishing, on the beach. So I still do it. I just don't do it in front of the video.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Same. That's me. I have a couple of things memorized that I'm going to do because I know it feels good, but I need to get back on I did a few videos a few weeks ago, but that was right when the holidays were starting, and y'all, I just gave up during the holiday. I usually try. I didn't even try this year. I just said, man, I'm too tired. I'm just going to do whatever, but I'm going to tighten it back down, I can feel it in my knees and my back. That's the biggest thing. I don't care about this is all you're going to get. I'm beautiful enough, but
you are.
You gotta feel good, if you can't get hobbling around, I know 5 or 10 pounds on my knees and back. I know the difference in that, so that's all I'm shooting for,
absolutely.
Really.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, DDPY walks you through all of that stuff and how to do it. The videos are amazing. They have it from every level. if you're just starting out, if you are in a chair, if you can't get up, I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
There is a starting point for you. So I highly encourage you to go and check it out. Look at all of DDP stuff.
Amazing success stories from people on that. And when I've done it, dude, it's great. I like it. I like it a lot. I actually want to do more of that. You know,
best bang for your buck out there as far as health and fitness, health and wellness.
It is, man. It's good stuff.
No pun intended.
Bang.
Bang! Look, your boy MG, a.k.a. Sparky.
Spark Doggy Dog.
Oh, that's who MG was. Oh, MG coming from his big pimp boat up there.
Oh, man.
Probably just hanging out on his big 80-foot boat or whatever it is.
Yeah, hey, talking about a weather episode, that guy's seen it. He has his boats on a lake north of Nashville, and they just had to relocate. Their whole marina just got totally demolished. He's
oh, man. Yeah, he said he just ran for the first time today in 2 weeks and was sweating out pure gravy. Same, brother.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it is, dude. Yeah, it is. So continuing on with DDP, a couple more videos. These are some of the most watched videos that we had on the show. Every one of these videos that I'm showing you from this point out, these are our closers for sure. These are our cream of the crop. This is one of my favorites of the DDP runs, is him showing a couple of pictures of his favorite pictures.
But this is my next favorite picture. Me and the American Dream, brother.
Oh, yeah.
There he is, baby.
Absolutely. Dusty Rhodes, baby.
That's from 1989. That night, I'm wearing a Willie Nelson hat, right? Willie was playing in Fort Myers, and Dusty came down from Tampa with his wife, Michelle, who's Cody's mom. And next thing you know, you got Dusty up there singing with Willie.
Love it.
What a night.
Dusty never, once Willie brought him up, he never got off that stage the rest of the night.
He never got off that stage. That's
Can
so
you
good,
imagine
dude.
being there that night for that deal? Good.
Well, hey, when Dusty won the NWA World Championship for the first time, David Allen Coe came in the ring. He was friends with a lot of those country guys.
Wow.
True story.
That's crazy.
Unbelievable.
That's awesome.
It's unbelievable how when Diamond came on and he was telling us about his early days in Tampa, wasn't it Tampa? Or somewhere in
Fort Myers.
Fort Myers.
Yeah, a little further south, yep.
With his
Fort
pink
Myers.
Cadillac and all that stuff when he was the Prince of Promo, you know, how he got there. He wasn't, but what, 30? He was 35 years old when he first started wrestling professionally. It's like, can you imagine?
That's crazy.
That? I'm 45. This is like when he was in his prime. This is when he was at the top of the arena, all of that, you know. He's like unbelievable.
Yeah.
What an athlete,
he's wrestling
man.
The Undertaker when he's my age. No way.
Yeah, no shit. Unbelievable. And then there's this video. This is the best video that we had on YouTube this year. Easily the most watched. Got us half of our watch hours on YouTube pretty much alone. The longer version of this video, but I've made a short version as well that is done extremely well. But here is the best story that DDP's told, probably the best story of the year on Tigs Bits.
Bro, I love sheep. I'll tell you a story. We're getting ready to go to the Philippines. We get on there, there's a bunch of seats. So if you don't really like your seat, you take another seat. So that's what the sheik did. And I'm sitting in the same row, like 4 people behind him. So he takes these 2 seats for himself. Here comes this couple, just got married. There's a sheik in their seats. And they tried to explain to him that this is our seats. What you talking about? I'm Iron Sheik. I'm 300 pounds. World champion. I beat Hulk Hogan. Jabronis. Go. They come back with the stewardess, right? She's trying to explain to him. They look at Diamond, tell them I'm Iron Sheik. I can't possibly sit in one of these seats by myself. Like, I don't know shit. Sheik, he always got away with things.
I don't know.
300 pounds.
I don't want to get
world champion. I beat Hulk Hogan.
Rest of the garden.
So awesome, man.
They sell the
so
garden
awesome.
out. Oh, that's
Dude,
great.
that video has gotten so many comments. Yeah, just views, likes, everything. It is insane.
Oh, that's great.
That's amazing.
It definitely opened up the portal to the wrestling world. And I know Handler loves wrestling, folks, and I do too. We all love it, but Handler, he knows it. He knows it a lot better than I do. I'm more of the attitude era kind of guy. I like to dabble and go back. I know the old folks too, the golden era, but my expertise is going to be in the attitude era. But man, if we doubled down on wrestling, we would have 1 million followers quick.
Yep.
They love it. They eat that content. Absolutely eat it up, man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
2024, we're going to have some more of that kind of stuff. I hope we get some different angles from some wrestling world, some creators from the wrestling world space. Maybe get some of them talk inside podcast lingo, all that kind of fun stuff. I want to make sure to try to keep that going because I love wrestling. Always have. It's always a new, ever evolving sport with new competitors, and and there's the eras. You like yours from when you were a kid, or the different ones from different times, and it's just interesting context. It's like it's just another form of art.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Or entertainment too.
I listened to good old JR's audio book.
Yeah.
Man, talk about some insightful thing. He doesn't give everything up, but there's
was it Under the Black Hat?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, dude, unbelievable. It really was. But that brings us, let's close this sucker out. Let's encore this out. We have a few videos left to go. But man, the guest of the year, no doubt. Can't believe that he came on our show, especially when he did in August, just a couple of weeks before football season, and came in and spent an hour and a half or a little bit longer with us.
Yeah.
Probably could have talked for another hour and a half. I mean, we were rolling, but just can't believe that we had Marty Smith come into the podcast. And once again, thank you, JR, for facilitating that one to get him on. You've known him for a long time. How did you two meet briefly?
Music. Probably about 10 years ago when I first started working for Justin. We were somewhere. I want to say maybe it was in the Carolinas one time. I think that's the first time I met like Austin Dillon and some other drivers and stuff. We were all at a show in Charlotte or something like that, and they were backstage afterwards, and I was like, oh, shit, these guys. And then again, Marty, just from music and sports, just nuts.
Yeah. Man, what a cool dude. What a freaking cool dude. And I'm going to play. It's the longest video we've got of the night. And it's also one of the longest podcasts that we've ever done. But hey, we're wrapping up. Who cares? This video has had over 500,000 impressions, views, over 1 million impressions, over 500,000 views. Video that we made or that we've had this year, and it is a great story.
Y'all will love his story. Every spring, I go down and play in Coach Saban's golf tournament. I am just starting to play golf. They've stashed me with Coach's golf buddies, one of whom is G-Mac, Greg McElroy's daddy, father-in-law, excuse me. They're like, Marty, why don't you lead us off? I'm like, I don't really want to lead us. Up the damn cart path comes a golf cart. It's Coach Saban in his, damn basket hat that he wears during camp. He's like, lead them off. I bet I hit this 5-iron, 215, and 200 of it was dead-ass right. So Coach, he's disappointed in me. He just puts his head down. I'm like, wow. All these other guys I'm playing with are like super good players. Okay? They all hit it out there. So Coach's role in this tournament, the celebrity, they hit ceremonial tee shots with all the groupings. So Coach steps up there. He duck hooks this thing dead left into the... So he had said to me after my drive, next time we're on TV together, don't you think this ain't coming up? And I'm like, I hope you bring it up. Here's what I didn't know. Coach Saban was hitting autographed golf balls. He signs the golf ball that he ceremonially hits, and whomever grabs it first gets to keep this Nick Saban golf ball. I can't find any of my teammates. Like, where did my teammates go? They're all over in the woods scurrying around. I have no idea why. They come out of the woods, and they hand me that. All right? I have this in my backpack for the sole purpose that if Nick Saban ever brings this up on TV, I'm going to go, remember this?
I mean, for good reason. For good reason that would be it would be one of the most watched videos. Great story and an exclusive to Tigs Bits. I've been watching all year, hoping he would tell it somewhere else. He hadn't told that one yet.
Nope.
So it's unbelievable. Then let
ESPN,
me jump into
Barstool,
this.
Y'all go ahead and scoop that up. Use
yeah,
it.
y'all go ahead.
Clip it up.
Absolutely.
Dropping it here first.
And then we talked about Jaden Daniels. And we talked about this. I dropped this yesterday on a couple of socials. This is one of the videos that I had not put out in some places. But where it had gone out, it absolutely kicked ass. And interesting to see how it all played out.
The reason that Jaden Daniels had the season he had last year in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, is Brian Kelly saying to him, I don't want perfection, son. I want excellence. And excellence comes every single day by doing what you're supposed to do the best you can do it.
Dude, when we're sitting there and he's saying these things, I'm like, are we on ESPN right now? Like, is this a lot? What is this? Am I watching Sports Center?
He's so good.
He's talking to us?
I know. He's so good. He's so good.
Oh, my God.
He's great. And it's funny you say that, Brantley. There were moments, because we were on there, an hour and 40 minutes?
Yeah.
Where I was sitting there, and I felt like I was watching ESPN. Like you're saying, it's just Marty Smith giving some sort of an exclusive, some sort of a story that he's telling, and I was just all enthralled and going, oh, my God, no, you're talking to him.
Yeah.
Engage, son, engage, you know.
Yeah,
I did my own inner Marty Smith voice had to kick in there, you know. Like
you got Marty Ties.
Great episode. Great.
Yeah, Marty Ties is... Marty Ties hasn't been released everywhere yet. It will be. That's probably coming in the next couple of weeks. There's some videos, I'm telling you, doing this exercise. I'm like, oh, my Lord, I can't believe that one didn't drop. That's one of them. It didn't go everywhere. This is probably my favorite video, and I don't want to bring it down for a minute, but this video of him kind of brought me down for a second because he's so absolutely correct about everything, and I'm kind of going through it right now with my dad as well. But he talks about how your father is your compass.
Eric saved my life, man. I mean, he saved my life. When my dad died, I did not know Eric yet. And that First Record Centers like me provided the perfect vehicle to carry my emotions within that sorrow. And you know, when you lose your dad, I hope all three of y'all still have your dads. I don't know your personal stories, but
I don't.
Whether your dad is your best friend, whether he's your hero, whether you want to do everything together, whether y'all don't get along, you fight, maybe you don't have that close a relationship, your father is a compass, no matter what that relationship is. And when you lose him, that compass is just spinning. It's wayward. And you don't know where to point your rudder. And I was lost, man. And Eric's talent gave me a North Star.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
I mean,
and he tells the story of going on the bus and getting the first time when he met him, you know, behind that, and telling him that story and how impactful that was. Oh, dude, absolutely unbelievable.
It was such a good dude, such a so many good stories. And y'all go check out his book if you haven't got the new one, Sideline CEO. Go pick it up. It is fantastic. He has an audio book. I love audiobooks because who wouldn't want to? If you're gonna read a Marty Smith book, I would rather have that man read it to me. It's going to be better than the voice in my head. I'm just going to listen to his voice is what I would be hearing. Might as well listen to it on audiobook. It's great. Go check it out. He has interviews with Nick Saban or insight wisdoms from Nick Saban. And I mean, God, you name them, the biggest coaches in the world. Kim Mulkey's in it. All kinds of, I mean, the best of the best, the best of the best. And kind of wrapping up here, we have a couple more left with Marty. This one, hilarious, got so much attention. This one got, I think, a little over 300,000 views. I think it's the number 2 video that we had of the year. Let's check it out. Or number 3, something like that.
Marty is a world-class cornhole player and actually holds a Guinness Book of World Record for tossing cornhole.
Last year, Baron Miller had this idea. He was like, I want to break a Guinness Book of World Record live on the air, and we're going to do it longest cornhole throw. We fly this dude in from London, who's what's called an adjudicator. He's the guy who says it's legit or not. 10 to 12 was the allotted time that we have had to pull this off. I'm looking at my watch going, by God, I got 20 minutes to break this damn world record. I'm going to go do it. I ain't even lying to y'all. Airmail. Thunk, straight in the damn hole. I lost my ever-loving mind. I went bonkers. I'm running around like I won the damn Super Bowl. Poor Jordan Rogers, my coworker, he jumped off the set and ran over to me, picks me up, and I'm like pumping my fist in the air. I elbowed him right between the eyes, damn near knocked him out.
Unbelievable.
That's great, dude.
I mean, that's the kind of stuff he does. That's kind of stuff he does every day. It's incredible.
Every day.
He gets paid to do that. That's nuts, dude. Absolutely nuts. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
But he's so good at what he does too, man.
He's the best.
He is so good at what he does.
He is the best. Just like he wraps this up, and this was the 3rd or 4th most watched video of the year, and we're going to let it close this portion of our Tigs Bits Best Bits.
I get asked all the time, what is the best experience in college football? And I'm very fortunate. I've seen a lot of them. But Saturday night in Death Valley, there's none like it. Ladies and gentlemen, the sun has made its way toward the western sky, and it is Saturday night in Death Valley. There's just nothing like it.
Amen. Amen.
I know you. We knew you would. You should have known you'd say that for the grand finale. Old bunch of mess.
That was. It's amazing.
Only untrue thing he said all podcast.
Actually, that's what's amazing about AI today. He was able to take Marty Smith and make him say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
He took Troy out and added Baton Rouge.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. But yeah, man, that was awesome. That video definitely got some run. Shout out to Drunk Brian Kelly. Follow him on Twitter. It doesn't matter if you're an LSU fan or not. You'll just get a kick out of him. You know, I know that I follow some of the Troy people that are kind of like Drunk Brian Kelly. Follow the show now. He has a lot of followers. He reposted it, I think, on X, and it ran and ran everywhere else. But a good video.
Yeah,
a good video. Hal says that Marty Smith pisses excellence, and could not ignore. And Hilton loved it. And then your boy, he didn't realize that the Undertaker's real voice. He had never heard the Undertaker's real voice until he heard the Joe Rogan podcast. So missed some of that there. In the chat, and Hilton says to go watch the Ric Flair documentary. Hell yeah, there's a couple of them, and they're both fantastic.
Absolutely.
Oh, me and Sparky. Oh, when I had my place out in Whites Creek in Nashville, Sparky used to come over. We watched some wrestling, play some video games. Sparky, him and Bonner. Can you imagine that, Blasey? When I moved to Nashville, only 2 guys of our brothers that lived up there was Bonner and Sparky. 2 of my buddies that I was tight with at school, but just us 3 random Joes was holding it down in Nashville, buddy. We had a good time, man. Can you imagine?
Oh, but it was so good. No, I can't.
Man, me and Sparky used to have a boat. Now he's done worked his way up, and he's got a nice big boat. You sleep on and all that now. But when he was on his way up, he had this runabout. Man, we would drop it off right in downtown Nashville and just take off up and down the river and stuff. Man, we had some wild adventures, dude. It was cool.
I bet so.
I bet you did.
Well, we did.
I bet you did. Well, look, folks, that's gonna wrap it up for the best bits of Tigs Bits, man. I mean,
those were great.
That was awesome, dude.
That was great.
That was a lot to pack in there, dude. That's why it took us so long. You know, I mean, there were so many things that really got left out. That was great, though.
Maybe a little overpacked. In 2024, we may not do quite as many, but look, it was
10.
too damn.
Yeah.
Top 10, and we'll go from there. But it was too many to pick from. Had too fun of a year. We typically aren't going to be going for 2 hours and 17 minutes on our podcasts, so don't get used to that. But man, what a blast 2023 has been. or was, and no doubt 2024 is going to be equally as good, and we can't wait to get started.
TMC, baby, TMC.
Absolutely, that is correct. So let me close this down with one last little clip to end the show, and we'll call it a night. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
All right, boys, have a great day. It's been your pleasure. See ya. Bang!